your program in Notepad, you can execute it in the browser. Here, in this Notepad, whatever content I'm writing here, that content you can execute it through browser.
We are learning
browser,
here. This is the first session on this demo session
so
on
this
this
time,
web UI
whenever
programming.
we write our program here,
Is it your first demo?
program automatically executed by browser only. Here,
Okay.
browser can easily execute our program.
Here,
It is possible
this is
by
web UI.
IDE.
UI here it is
Integrated
the
Development
user
Environment. This is what
interface.
here IDE.
To create this user
IDE
interactive
here,
page,
VS
we have
Code is
to
one
link the
IDE.
list of all topics are
If you
here.
don't use IDE, you can go
HTML4
with
and
the
5.
Notepad.
CSS
But nowadays,
2 and
every
3.
development is going
Third
on with the
topic
IDE only.
JavaScript.
Integrated
4th
Development
one
Environment
jQuery.
we are using
Here
to
5th
develop our
Ajax.
application.
6th responsive
So
design.
everywhere we are using Java
Here
students will
responsive
use
design.
Eclipse or
Then
IntelliJ.
7th one will be here
PHP
Bootstrap.
students will use XAMPP, WAMP,
Here
LAMP.
8th one will
There's
be
all
here
servers.
Less
And we can
SAS
use
programming.
that related
9th
IDE.
one
Zend
is
framework is one
project.
IDE. You can
10th
use it
one
to
is
develop
exam.
our application.
Total duration of my
Next,
content
you
will
can
be
also
here
use
2 months.
here
2 months I'm going to
frameworks
continue
you
on
can
all these
use to
topics.
develop the application
Okay.
as well as
Here first I'll
here,
explain in today's session what is UI.
every platform operating
Title.
system.
What is UI? What all topics comes under this?
Programming
and UI
related IDEs, we will use it to write our
basic
programs.
introduction part
Here,
I'll cover.
VS Code
here
is one IDE,
in this
Autumn
session.
is one IDE. These are all
Here,
helpful for
what is
writing our
UI?
programs
What all
in
topics comes under this? And UI
our
related basic introduction.
Windows
I'll
system
explain
or
to you.
operating system.
Here,
Any type of
UI
operating
means
system,
here
you
it
can
is
use
a
it to
user
write our programs.
interface.
Here now I'm
itself
going
it is
for
a user
IDE, for web
interface.
UI development.
When you
we
enter
always
any
go with the
URL in the
Visual
browser,
Studio Code.
whatever
Present
application
in
you can
development
create, whatever
environment in the
application you
classroom
can see,
classroom
that is
sake, we are
whatever
using
UI.
here one IDE here.
Here,
That is what
Google
here
is one
Visual
UI
Studio
page.
Code.
Google
In
is
the
one
real
UI
time
page here.
as well as
See
in the
Google.
present
Once you click search
development
option
time.
here,
In
once you click
real
search
time
option
development
here,
and in classroom development, we are
data
using
will go
IDE
for
here. That is Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is
here.
helpful to
Data
design
will
our
go for
output to
search.
develop our application.
Here, once you click
Here,
on the
you
search
can go
option,
for
data will
Google.
go for. So your
once you
input will
click
be
on this
redirected
search
to
option
server.
here, once
Here,
you search for
input is
VS
redirected
Code
to
here,
server.
you will redirect to
Here, server.
here you will redirect
That server
to
page here.
vscode.exe file.
Here,
exe
any of
file.
the server page.
Once you double
Here,
click
it
on
can
it,
connect with
here,
any of the
couple
server.
of
Here, it may be
clicks,
Java server, .NET server,
here it
Python
will be
server,
installed
any server
in our
programming
system.
we can use.
Once this is
This
installed,
server
that
will
Visual
give you
Studio Code
result
is
back to
installed in
the
our system.
data.
By that,
result.
we
It
can
will give you
execute
that
our
request to
program.
server and database.
Here, once it is installed in
Here,
our
this
system,
is totally
automatically we
MVC
can execute
architecture.
our program.
Here it is our
See
server
here,
program.
go to the
Server is
download
here. It
option.
may be PHP, Java, .NET, Python.
Here, download option
Here,
of this
etc.
Studio
etc.
Code.
All comes under
Here, go
server
to the downloads.
programs.
Under
Here,
this,
this server
you
programs are
can
here.
find it here. See,
They are
this is VS
different
Code IDE.
servers.
Last
Here,
one.
databases.
Visual Studio Code
Databases are
IDE
here.
is
Oracle,
like this.
MySQL, SQL
Here,
server.
this is one Eclipse IDE.
Here itself,
Eclipse IDE, we
SQL
use it
server,
for Java.
MongoDB, etc.
Visual Studio
etc.
Code
All
IDE, we
comes
use it
under
for web
servers.
UI development.
Databases.
So once you double
Here
click
is
on
our
it,
UI program.
here already it is open.
UI
So I
program
don't
here.
want to open. Close. Here that IDE. I'll close it.
Here UI programming. Resultant page is
once
also
you double
UI.
click on it, on this
Here
Visual
link
Studio
1, link
Code,
2, link 3, you will get it as
here,
our link here. This list of
in
links.
this time, you can see
list
here
of links,
accept terms
whatever
and
you get it
conditions.
here.
This is one license.
One
Just
second.
click on next button. Here what you want to install, it will give you all list and click on next button. Once you click install button here, automatically this will be installed in our system. Here this will be installed in our systems. Here already I have this installation, so I'll open that. Here after couple of next
list of
clicks,
links,
it will be
whatever you are
installed.
getting here.
Then go for computer
These all
start button.
we will
Under
get it by
this, you
server,
can search
server
for
to
VS
database.
Code. See,
this is what
computer
here
start button.
MVC architecture.
Search for VS Code.
Finally, you
Enter.
will get resultant
By
page
this
here.
Visual
So this
Studio
is
Code,
what
you can
MVC
see
architecture. This MVC architecture
here,
followed
like
by every web
Visual
page.
Studio Code.
If you check
will be
facebook.com,
loaded into our
twitter.com,
system
any
like
web
this.
page, see here,
After
this is one.
just open that file here. file.
Here, this is one
Open
UI
folder
page.
option
UI
will be
will
there.
connect to server,
File,
server connected
open
to
folder.
database.
Then
Here,
documents.
this is our UI page.
Here.
See here. After submitting
See,
my
you can
request, it will
create your own
redirect to
folder.
PHP.
8 p.m. folder I'm creating.
So this
Just
is our
select
UI
that
page.
folder.
It is connecting with the
See,
PHP
8 p.m.
page.
folder is loaded into
In
our
this, we are
Visual
learning
Studio Code.
only the UI part.
Here, this
Front
way
end
you
part.
can open your
This front end is
folder. Any
connecting with
folder
one
anywhere
server
in your
programming
system
and
that
one
you can
database.
open it into our
So who
system
know these three? They
by
called
this.
as server side,
Okay.
full
So
stack
now
developers.
you can find
Who
new
know
file
these
and
all
new folder.
technologies? They
So
called
once
as
you click
full
on this
stack
new
developers.
folder, here
Next,
you can create separate folder for
here,
HTML4 topic.
I'm going for
See?
here in this explained here what is UI. Here,
HTML4
Facebook
topic.
is example
Here
for PHP.
I created one
PHP
separate
connecting
folder
to
here.
database.
Under
Next,
this
after
separate
this,
folder,
here after this, you can see that here that
HTML4
UI
folder.
page. How to develop this UI page
Here,
here.
HTML4 folder I'm
This
creating.
UI page we can
Here
develop
I'm
it
creating
by here by this list of all
under
topics.
this HTML4 folder,
Here,
I'm going to write
what is the use
one
of
new file
HTML?
here.
You can see
This
here.
is here one.html program.
HTML is a hypertext markup
HTML
language.
program.
Here
See,
itself
any
HTML.
HTML page is standard code
HTML
here.
here it is
Doc
a
HTML head and
hypertext
body.
markup
Without writing
language.
anything, suppose if you
Here
write welcome
markup
like this,
language.
even though you can execute your
Markup
program.
here it is a tag
But
based
according
program.
to WWW, World Wide Web Consortium, according to that rule, we
Here
have to
tag
write
based
our
programming.
code.
Tag here
Okay.
it is instruction to the browser.
In this one.html program,
Here tag is nothing
this
but it's an
one.html
instruction
program,
to the
how
browser.
can we execute?
Instruction
See here,
to
go to the
browser.
VS Code.
We can
There is
give
an
our
option called
instructions to
file.
the browser in the form
Open
of
folder
text.
will be there.
Here we can
By
write
that,
it
you
here
can
tag
open
name
your
start
own
and
folder,
close.
8 p.m.
With
folder
this,
anywhere
we
in
can
your
execute
system.
our
We
program.
can create subfolder HTML4.
Here
Under
we
this,
are
we
writing
can write
here.
our one.html program.
This type of
Like
tags
this we
are
can do.
instructions.
In
Here
this
this comes
one.html
under
program,
paid
generally
tags.
we will write that
Paid
standard
tags.
code of HTML.
Second category of tags we have
Here,
that is comes
standard
under
code of
unpaid
HTML.
tags.
So
If you are
now
learning
you
any
can check
programming
it.
language, that programming instructions we have to follow.
Here you can write it here, doc type, HTML,
Here
HTML start
in
and close.
this, here unpaired tag will
Here
be
only
like
we
this.
can
Paired
write it
tags
here,
and unpaired
head
tags
start
will
and
write like
close.
this.
And
Here
body
this
start
paired
and
tags.
close.
Here,
Here,
whatever
body
paired
start,
tag I'm
body
writing
close.
here, that
Under
paired
this head
tag.
section, we can write it here.
So,
Script tag, we use it here for
here
writing JavaScript
we will
code.
write separately closing
Here,
tag.
style tag, we use it
Unpaired
here
tag,
for
we
writing
will write
CSS.
like this. Self-closing
Script
tag.
tag and then style tag
Here,
we'll use
totally
it.
HTML
Under
is a
this body
hypertext
tag,
markup language.
what all
It
the
is
other
tag-based
tags will write
programming.
it,
Tags
that
are
is all
nothing but
related to
instruction to the
HTML.
browser.
What
We can
all
give our
other tags will write
instructions
it
to the
here,
browser in the
those all
form of
related to
tags.
HTML.
These tags are
All
here,
our HTML
paired
tags.
tags and unpaired
Okay.
tags.
Here,
Here,
inside
next,
the body tag, whatever we write it, those all
any
comes under
HTML page,
HTML tags.
we will follow.
See,
The
without
basic
writing
structure of
any HTML
HTML will
tag,
be
I
here.
wrote
It
my
is
code like this.
doc
To
type,
execute this
HTML,
program, we will
HTML
go
start
for
and
VS
close.
Code. There is an
Here, this
option
is the
called
basic structure.
extensions. Under this
Tag
extension, you can find it here. Search for live server.
and body.
Just click on install button.
Okay, and then body. This is the basic structure
By
of
this,
HTML.
live server will be installed in our system.
HTML is a hypertext markup
Go to
language.
the
It is completely a tag-based programming.
Search for live
Here,
server.
tag is
See, this
nothing
is
but
live
it's an
server. If you
instruction
not
to the
find it
browser.
here, search for live
We can
server.
give our
Click on
instructions to the
install
browser
button.
in the form of tags. That
By
standard
this,
code of
live server
HTML will be like
installed
this.
in our system.
Suppose if you check this
Once this is live
facebook.com,
server
if you
is
right click
installed,
inspect
once
element
you
on
right
this,
click,
you can see
can
that
find
standard
open
code
with
is
live
here.
server. See, open with
Here,
live server.
standard code is here.
By
Doc type
this, your
HTML
program,
head and body. Okay.
your
So
program
our first
automatically
topic of our
opens in the
content here,
live server.
HTML, it creates basic skeleton structure of a web page.
Here, we are opening
Here,
our
because of
program
this
through live
HTML, we
server.
can create a basic skeleton part of the web page. Here,
See
HTML
here,
is a hypertext
I'm
markup
able to
language.
open my program
Basic structure of
with a
web
live
page.
server. By this,
Here, basics.
automatically it will open one live server.
Here,
See, like
structure
this.
of
This is the
web
way generally
page.
it will
We
open.
can create it
So Control C
using
copy.
HTML.
Now
Using HTML, we
check
can
the
create a
code
basic
here.
structure of a web page.
Here, how
Second topic
the
here,
live server
CSS.
is executed.
CSS, here it is Cascading style
Once you
sheet.
click on install button, it will be
Here,
installed. It
this
will
is
open
mainly
our
used
output like
for
this.
style
This way
part
we
of
can
web page.
execute our code
Style
with
part
live
of web
server.
page, we can create it with the CSS.
With the live
Style
server,
part
you
here,
can
you can check
execute
it
your
here.
code, your
Background color,
program
border,
code, you
text
can
related
execute it
styles,
like
font
this.
related styles. All we can create it
Okay.
with this
Here,
CSS.
you can run your
Here,
program.
CSS
Right-click,
gives you
open with
basic
live server.
structure,
By this, you can see that
colorful
standard
structure
code
and
will be
alignment
here.
of the web page.
Right-click. I didn't wrote
Next
any
one.
standard code. I wrote just only
Here,
welcome.
JavaScript.
See here, doc type HTML
Because of
head
this
and body, you
JavaScript,
can see
we can
as our
add
output.
functionality.
This is the way generally
Functionality
we'll
of web
execute our
page, we
program.
can
This is the
create
procedure
it.
of execution
We
of the
can
program.
create it using JavaScript.
Here, I'm writing doc type
Because of this
HTML head and
JavaScript, we
body.
can add
This is the standard
functionality to
code of
our
HTML.
application.
Under
These
this,
functionalities
that
are
welcome
here.
message, whatever I'm printing here.
Here, these functionalities are here.
Here, whatever welcome message I'm printing
Functionality
here,
of a
this
web page
welcome
we
message
can create it with
will
this
print as our
JavaScript.
output. But according
Functionalities
to the
are here.
standard, we have to write our
Validations.
code.
See, in
That's
this
why we have
Facebook,
to
the
write
color
doc type
of the button you can change
HTML
it by CSS. Just I'm giving
tag
brief information, one line
and followed
information
by
about all the topics.
body.
Here, this
Under this
button
body,
color,
I
if you
can
want to
write it
change
here,
it here,
welcome to
that it is
HTML,
possible
or
by
something
CSS.
if I write it.
See,
See,
this half code is
automatically
CSS.
code will
If
get
you want to change
updated
the color
here.
of the button, you
See
can
here,
change
doc
like this.
type HTML head
See,
and body.
button color is
Welcome to
affected.
HTML and
Okay.
injected
This
code
half
of
code is
HTML.
CSS, this half code is HTML.
Here, like this, you will
Next,
get
here
output for our
JavaScript.
application.
Submit. If I submit
Here,
it,
this
I'll
is the
get
way
error
we'll
message
write
here.
the primary
See,
code
I'm
of
getting
HTML.
error message here. This error message is
Yesterday you
because
have
of
attended
JavaScript.
demonstration, and today
Here,
you
because of
understood
JavaScript,
here
we can
what is
add
the use
validation of the application form.
each topic. And
Validations,
yesterday
cookie
also we
creations,
discussed what is the
local
use of each
storages,
topic.
session
That brief
storages,
information we discussed
animations,
today.
object-oriented
And we
structure,
continued
all
on
we will learn
installation
it with
procedure
this
of Visual
JavaScript.
Studio Code in our system
Here,
and
next
execution
topic
of
of our
programs
content
through
here.
Visual Studio Code.
Here,
After this,
next topic
generally
of
I'll
our
cover
course is
pair
here.
tags and unpaired tags under HTML.
jQuery.
Yesterday I explained first program on
jQuery
pair
is an
tags and unpaired
external
tag.
library
Second
of
program I
JavaScript.
explained block
It's
and
an
inline elements.
external library of
Block elements and
JavaScript. We
inline
call it as
elements
jQuery.
and pair tags and unpaired
jQuery
tags.
is nothing but
These
it's an external
here,
library
now
already
I'm
existed
continuing
code
on
of
this.
the
So let
JavaScript
me
here.
open my folder
So directly you can
of
download
8:30.
that basic file of jQuery here.
Here
jQuery
8:30 p.m. folder.
3.7.1.js. Like this, you
Yesterday
can
we
find
discussed here
jQuery
that is
cycle.js.
one.html program.
Like
In
this,
this,
you can find it
I
here.
explained
jQuery
here what all the list of pair
validation.js.
tags we have.
Here,
Pair
etc.,
tag here,
etc.
whenever
All
you
comes
write the
under
starting tag, definitely you need to write the
jQuery.
closing tag
Because of
here.
jQuery,
It
you can
comes under
create
pair
this type
tag
of output.
here. This
Here,
pair tags,
now you can
here
find it
H1
here.
to H6,
jQuery
all comes under pair
validations.
tags.
In this jQuery validation.org, you can find it here.
Heading tag, div tag, all comes under pair
In
tags.
this jQuery, you
HR
can
tag
find
is
it
for
here how to
horizontal line.
implement
All different
validations
HR
of the
tags you can
application
use.
form.
And
jQuery
input type
related
text
stuff
button,
you
radio
can
button,
create
like
it
that
with
we
this.
can write all input elements.
Here, jQuery
BR
is a
tag we use it for
validations here. In this
breakline.
validation of the
Image
application
SRC
form,
is
how
used to
to
display images for our program. Here, all different
how to
images
create
for
our
our
application,
application we
how
can
to
display
write
to the
our
user by
content.
image
Here,
tag.
validations of the
Image
application form.
1.jpg and this is
You
one
can
more
write
image and
it
this is
here.
one more image. See, all different images we are showing here
Here,
in all
you can
different
write
ways.
that
One is
validation of the
directly
application form with this
.jpg, direct
jQuery.
location
See
image.
here,
Next, we are
jQuery
writing
cycle.
here.
So when you search for jQuery cycle, you can find it here, cyclic rotation of images. See here. When I add jQuery cycle,
Here,
see, you can see different cyclic rotation of images.
Second,
This cyclic rotation of
that image
images
here,
we are
that
creating
SRC,
with this
my system's
jQuery.
local location I'm writing.
Here, jQuery is
And
adding
third one, URL
validation
of
of
that
the
image.
application
So
form.
any URL of
Here,
that
all
image, we can
validations
write
we
it
can
by
write
this
it,
image tag.
and all
Here I'm writing
cyclic
image
rotation of
SRC. All
images
three
we can
different
write it with
images
this
we are
jQuery.
writing for our program like this.
Next one, Ajax.
So this way only
Ajax
we can
here it is
write
a
our program. We can
asynchronous
execute our program.
JavaScript and XML.
Here, this way only
It is a
we
combination
can
of
write our
JavaScript
program
and
and we
XML.
can
It is
execute our
asynchronous.
program like this.
Asynchronous
Here, how to
JavaScript
write
and
that
XML, we
one.html
call it as
program, how we
Ajax.
can execute it, how to
Here,
print our
Ajax
output.
is mainly,
These
it is
all
an
you can check it
asynchronous JavaScript
with
and
our
XML.
program.
We call it as Ajax.
Here, we can write
In this
one.jpg
Ajax,
and
you
we can
can
write
find
our
it without
directly
redirection.
location of the image. Another
here
one
without
here, images are
redirection,
used to display
without
images.
refreshing.
That images all
Without
are here,
redirection
that
or
URL path of
without
that image. 3
refreshing
ways. And for every
web
image
page,
tag, you
we
can write
get the
width, height,
client
and
is
ALT.
getting the server response.
Width, height, and ALT.
Here,
ALT
client
here
will
it is
get
alternative text.
Here,
If
client
the
will
image
get
not
the
available, that time it will
response
show
of the
you that
server
alternate text.
without
You
refreshing,
can see
without
that execution
redirection.
here.
If we get the
With the
server
live server,
response,
if you
that we
execute
call it
it,
as Ajax.
see, output
For
will come
this
like
example here, if you
Here,
open
H1 to
any
H6, it is
website,
showing like this.
here chatting
H1 to
applications.
H6, horizontal
Any
line.
chatting
That
application
horizontal
is
line,
comes
line
under
we are mentioning with
here.
the width and
Any
size.
type of chatting
Here, one more
application
horizontal
is
line,
comes
it is
under
showing here in the green
this
color output like
this
this.
type of
And input type
Ajax
text,
called.
input type button,
Here,
input type
I'm
radio.
showing here
How
chatting
to display all
application
input
here.
elements. Then we are
In this
tag for
chatting
break line,
application,
and
see
image tag is used to display
here
images.
if I click on
And
this
flower
as
image.
viewer, see
Here other
within few
location
seconds
image,
I'll get
current
output
location
without
image,
redirection,
and
without
URL of that
refreshing.
image. Those
See,
three we
if I click
discussed
on one
under this.
option, I'll get that option related
Here,
stuff.
all these things we can write like this. Next,
Here, similar way,
here
if I click
after
on
this
this
images
loans,
and
I'm getting
buttons,
that
radio
list of
buttons and
loans.
all.
I'm getting here
How
agriculture
to
loans.
write
I'm
our
getting here.
program? We are
Here,
writing here
long-term
all
credits.
output
Here,
for
like
our
this, you will
application
get
will
all
be like
your
this.
output. This
With
is
that, we can
possible by
execute this pair and unpair tag like this. After this, we discussed block and inline
here
elements.
bank.
Under this block and
See here.
inline elements, we
You are
discussed
getting this
here.
type of output
See,
here,
we
short-term
discussed block
credits
and
and
inline
all.
elements
You are
here.
getting output here without
That block
refreshing,
and
without
inline elements are
redirection.
here.
This comes under Ajax.
Here, whenever you
But
open
menu
your,
bar is a not a Ajax.
whenever
See, if
you
you check
write
any menu
particular
from this
tag,
menu bar,
that
if I
always
want to
starts
know
in a
about
new
the
line of the web page.
something from this menu bar, see it is
For them,
redirecting.
CSS code is
My
display
application
block.
is redirecting and getting the
Here,
output.
H1 to H6, it will show you as heading tags here. This heading tags, H1 to H6 tags, we are using as our heading tags. This heading tag, here H1 tag to H6 tags we have. This heading tags, whatever heading we are writing here, that it will display bigger size to smaller size, all different sizes of headings we can display to the user. Here, when we write the H1 tag, it will display here bigger size heading for us. Whenever we write the H1 tag, it will display here bigger size heading for us.
Here, Ajax is an
H6
asynchronous
tag,
call.
it will show you here
without
smaller
refreshing,
size
without
heading.
redirection,
So
you will
now
get
run
output.
this program with a live server.
Here, without
See, this is
refreshing,
block
without
elements and
redirection,
inline
if you get
elements.
output for
Here
our
H1 to
application, it is
H6 and div
Ajax.
tag.
See,
All
if
are
I want to
continuing in
know
the new
about the
line.
union
Paragraph. All
union
continue
vehicle,
starts in
see
a new
here,
line.
union
Why?
vehicle,
Because
it is
CSS code is
redirecting.
display block.
Redirecting my
Next
application
one,
form, I'm getting that output.
here only you
This
can
is
check
by
italic content,
synchronous
strong
call.
content, bold content,
Asynchronous
strike
here,
tag. These
chatting
all
application.
starts in a
So here, just I'm
continue in the
explaining
same
brief
line.
information about
Here,
the each
these
one.
all list of tags continue
Next
in the
one
same
here,
line of the
after
web
this
page.
Ajax,
Here, I tag, EM tag,
responsive
both for
design.
italic content.
Here,
Strong tag, bold
responsive
tag is
design
used to
term, you will
display bold
understand
content
here
for
how
us.
to develop our
And
application
strike
for
tag,
mobile
del tag
phone
is
tab
used to
to
display
desktop.
deleted or a strikeout
Except
content for
in
our
all different
application.
resolution, how we
U
will
tag
get
is for
output for our
underline
application,
content.
that you will
Span tag and
understand
mark
under
tag we are using
responsive
here.
design. Under responsive design, how
Span
to
tag and
develop
mark
our
tag we are using
application
here.
for mobile phone,
Span
tablet,
here
desktop.
background
That you will
highlighting
understand
content,
under
mark tag
responsive
content.
design.
Next,
Then
here
next
images
one
RC
here,
is used to display
lessons as
images.
programming.
Username text
Lessons
box.
as
You
just
can
it is a
display
super
here
set
like
of
this.
CSS.
So this way only will write
CSS
our
only,
total
but
code.
something extra in CSS.
Here we are writing here.
Here,
all
Bootstrap is
images,
a
inline
directly
elements, all will
framework.
be like this.
It's a framework of
Next, after this block and
HTML,
inline elements, we discussed
CSS,
marquee tag.
JavaScript.
Marquee tag mainly
HTML,
uses for
CSS,
scrolling
JavaScript
content.
framework, we call
Left
it
to
as
right,
Bootstrap.
right to left.
So this
Any
is just
scrolling
brief
content we can show
information
to the
about all
user
the
by
topics.
this marquee.
Now I'm going for
Marquee,
HTML4.
here left to right,
So our first
right
topic
to
here,
left, and up
HTML4.
direction,
I'm
down
continuing on
direction.
this HTML4.
Here all marquee
Up to
tag.
now, is it clear?
Direction only for the left and
Obviously,
right. We wrote behavior
Yes.
alternate. By this, it in between the screen only it will scroll the content.
Yes,
Here,
up to now is it
next
clear?
one direction.
Can you able to catch
up.
my all
It
points
will
here? Introduction part.
move the content in towards up direction. Direction
Yes.
down. It will move the content towards
So
down
I'm continuing
direction.
with the first topic.
And here scroll amount.
Sandeep and Santosh,
Here that scroll
you can
amount
continue
here
from
it
now.
is
So
that
till now I
speed.
continue
That speed limit
for
of
new
that
student
particular content
introduction.
will be
For new
Like
students' sake, I gave introduction
here,
part.
next
Now
we are
I'll
going
continue
for
with the
behavior
continuation of our
alternate. It
HTML.
will show you alternate
Here,
behavior in between the screen.
HTML is a hypertext markup
This
language.
is all attributes
In
of
this,
marquee
here
tag.
HTML4 is
Just
our
let
first
me show
topic.
that execution.
HTML is a
Here,
hypertext
one content is
markup
scrolling
language.
inside the screen to
Here,
that outside
markup
of my
means
screen.
here
It is going in
it
the
is a
first
tag
marquee
based
tag. That is the
programming.
default marquee tag.
Here, tag is
Next, we
nothing
are
but it's an
going for
instruction to
here
browser.
scrolling
We can
content.
give
We are showing
instructions
here
to the
left to
browser in
right,
the form
right
of
to
tags.
left. This type of
Here
in
we
between
can
the
write
screen
it
only
here
it will
tag
show
name,
that scrolling
and
content.
here itself will close the
Here,
tag
that
name like
scrolling
this.
content, it is moving in
This
between
comes
the
under
screen. See,
pair
towards
tag.
left direction and right direction.
Here it comes
See here,
under
in
pair
between
tag.
the screen,
See,
it will
one
show
is
you
comes
that
under
output.
pair
This
tag.
is possible by
Second tag
here
here it
scrolling
is
content. We can
unpaired
show to
tag.
the user
So
by
we will
this.
write
This
the
is
tag
one
name
type
and
of
here
marquee
itself
tag.
will
It will
close.
show
It
you
is comes under
this marquee.
unpaired tag.
Here it will move in
Pair
between the
tag and
screen.
unpaired
In
tag.
between the screen,
Okay.
and
Any
once it touches the
HTML
end
page
point, it will
follows this
bounce
pair
back.
and unpair
So this
only.
is one
The
type of
basic
effect.
structure here it
Here
is
it is possible
dot
by
type
marquee tag.
HTML.
Because of marquee tag, you can show that output like this. Next, one more
Here
marquee
dot
tag.
type
It is showing
HTML.
that content is scrolling in up direction. One more marquee tag is scrolling in the down direction. Here, because of
HTML
that
start,
scroll amount,
HTML
that
close.
content, how much speed you
Under
want
this,
it,
we
that
can
you can
write it
decide it
here.
by
Head
scroll.
start and close and
This is
body
totally
start and
about the
close.
marquee.
Head and body
Marquee
tag.
content we can write like
Under
this.
this head section,
One second.
whatever we write it here, that is comes under script and the style. Script tag is used to write JavaScript code. Style tag is used to write CSS code. Here, script tag I'm using here to write JavaScript. Style tag I'm using here to write CSS. Here, script and style for our application, we can write like this. Any HTML application will be like this. Style and script will write like this. Inside this body tag, we will learn that list of examples of pair tags and second unpaired tags. Here, unpaired tags. That pair and unpaired tags here. So one is pair tag. Here, example for this body tag. Here, HTML tag. Here, head tag. And H1 to H6 tags. Here, H1 tag, H2 tag, H6 tags, and paragraph tag. Here, div tag. These all, etc., comes under pair tags. Here, this list of all tags comes under pair tags. Here, similar way, we have one more section of tags here. We have second category of tags are here, unpaired tags. Unpaired tags example here. Image SRC is used to display images. BR tag break line, HR tag horizontal line. Then input element, input type text, input type button, input type radio, all comes under input elements. One second. Here we have that input elements here. Input type text, button, radio button, etc. All comes under unpaired tags. Here we are learning here that list of pair tags and unpaired tags like this. For this we are going to write that execution here in Visual Studio Code. We can write our programs in VS Code and we can execute our programs in that Visual Studio Code. See, here I'll open my folder in this VS Code.
Sorry for the
Here,
disturbance.
open recent.
Here,
Here,
we are
open
continuing
folder
on
here.
this next
File,
tag here.
open folder.
Up to now,
See,
after
I created
installation
one empty
procedure of
folder.
this Visual Studio
830.
Code and all,
In this,
first program
I
we completely
selected
discussed
that
on.
folder.
Here,
In this
first program is
example,
on pair
I
tanks
explain
and
here.
unpaired tanks.
First
Here, second
example I
program we
explained
discussed
here.
on.
It is about the
Here,
pair
second
tanks and
program we
unpaired
discussed
tanks.
on
See here,
block and
doc type
inline
HTML
elements.
head and body.
Here,
Under
third
this,
program we discussed
here
on
script
marquee
tank,
tank.
style tank,
Here, marquee tank mainly
then
we use
body
it for
tank, H1 to
scrolling
H6,
content. Then
paragraph,
fourth
heading
program we
tanks,
discussed here.
HR for horizontal
Here,
line,
marquee tank
then
we
input
used it here
elements,
for
BR
showing
for
the
break
scrolling
line,
content.
images, all list of images. Here,
Next,
this
we
way
are
if you
going
write it
for
here, this is the way if you write your code here. This is totally pair and unpaired tags. H1 to H6, all different sizes of headings. Paragraph tag is used to display paragraph content for our application. Here, next one, here, P tag we use it here for displaying paragraph content. Here, next one,
then
here,
fourth program I'm
H1 to
going for
H6.
table.
Here,
How
all
to
comes
display
under
table
heading
of
tags.
content, rows and columns
Paragraph
information,
content.
how to display
Then
that
BR
you can
tag
check
for
it by
break line.
table
Input
tag.
element, input type
Table
text
tag we
button,
are
radio
using
button,
here
all
to
comes
display
under
that rows
input
and
elements.
columns information.
Here, like this, we can write
Here,
it
rows
here,
and
all the
columns
list of
information
tags.
we can show to the user
Here,
by
next
this
after
table
this,
tag.
here,
See, in
we
this
wrote
table
all our
tag, you
list of
can find
tags,
it
all
here,
will be
how to
like
write
this.
columns of a
Here,
table
next
and
we
rows
can
of the
write
table.
it here.
You will learn it here.
See how to
Columns of
execute
a
this
table
program.
and rows of the
To
table.
execute this
So
program,
now,
we can go
check
for
it.
this extension. So for only
Here,
one-time process, live server, click on install button.
Save
Once it is installed,
table.html.
you can
First,
go
I'll
for your
explain to you
program,
this.
right click,
Here, table
open with live
table
server.
will write it here. Table
By
start,
this, you can
table close.
execute your
Under
program
this, we can
through live
write
server.
border of the
You
table
can
here,
execute
1
your
pixel,
program
2
through
pixel
live server.
border. And body
Here in
heading
this
of the table is
horizontal
by
line,
t-hat.
you can write
Here,
that
body of the
horizontal line
table
with
is
the
by
color,
t-body.
size. Size means thickness of that
Heading of
line.
the table is
Width
by
here,
t-hat.
within
Body of
100%
the table
screen,
is by
we are displaying
t-body.
some width process.
In this t-head,
Here,
whatever
now if I
heading
run
I'm
this
writing
program,
here,
see here,
we are
H1 it
writing
is
here
bigger size
t-head
heading.
and t-body.
H2
In this
little
t-head,
smaller.
heading of the table,
Here
we can
H3,
easily
H4,
write it by
H5, H6.
here
All
heading
different
tag.
sizes of headings we
Heading
are
tag
writing
I'm
like
using
this.
here t-hat. We use it here for writing
Here
heading
all
of the
different
table.
sizes of headings
So this
for our
heading of the
application we can
table,
display like
we
this.
usually write it here
Here
in t-hat.
H1 to
In this,
H6.
each column of heading,
Div tag
we
is
can
used to
write it
display
by
division.
t-hat.
See, this is one horizontal
T-hat,
line
we
left
use it
to
here
right
to display
total screen.
each column of
And this is horizontal
employee
line
number,
here.
employee
And this
name,
is one more
employee
one.
salary.
Here,
See, like
this is one
we can
horizontal
write
line.
it here. Employee number,
Here,
employee
this is one
name,
more
employee
horizontal line
salary.
with the thickness. Different sizes of thickness we
Here,
are
this
using
way if you
like
write
this.
it here.
Here,
This is what
next
here,
we are writing
heading
here.
of the table.
After writing
And
this,
body of the table, we can write it here, tr. Tr, we use
here,
it here, table row.
next you
Under
can
this
see
tr,
here input
how many
element, input
rows,
type text
TDs
button,
you
radio
wanted,
button and
those
all.
many you can write.
Here images,
Here,
all
TD
list of
start,
images.
TD
If you want
close.
to move that
Under
image into
this
the
TD
next line,
start,
we use the
TD
VR
close.
tag.
Here we are
Input
writing
type
here
text
3
is used
column
to
of
display
information
text
like
box.
this TD.
Next
Under
after
this
this,
TD, see employee number.
here after this,
employee name. Here employee salary. Like this we can write. Here this way we can write one table tag. See how it will display that output. Here for this table only we can write cell spacing. Here cell to cell how much gap you want it, that is cell spacing.
Here
and similar
now
way
you can
write
find
the
it
cell
here,
padding.
that list of
Here,
all tags,
column
what
of
all
the
we
cell
have.
to border of the cell to column of the cell, how much gap you wanted, that is cell padding. So
here
we are going
this is
to
the first
write
example.
cell spacing
How to
and cell
execute this
padding,
first example
table,
I explained
all
here.
we are writing
Few
like
list
this.
of tags I have covered
Next,
here.
if you
in
want to
this.
merge the
So is it
columns and
clear?
rows, we will use it here, call
Wesley,
span and row
Wesley.
span. So let me continue on this table.
Yes.
Here, what all table tag content we have?
Here,
Let me show that.
now I'm going for next one here. Here, second category of tags are here, block and inline elements. Here, second category of tags are here. So, one more category of tags we have, block and inline elements in our HTML. Here, one is
This
block elements.
table tag.
Second one here it is inline elements. In this block elements, whatever the list of tags we have, here one is,
let me write the
block
table
elements.
here. It is doc type
In
HTML,
this block
head and
elements,
body.
whatever the list of tags
Here
we have,
itself
all
HTML
will start it in a new
and
line of the
followed
web
by
page.
body.
Here div
Under
tag, image
this, I'm
tag, whatever
writing
it starts,
H1.
new line
Here
of web
table
page,
tag
we
example.
can call it
Table tag
as
example is
block
the
elements.
heading here.
Block
So now
elements
in
here,
this
all the
time,
list
I'm
of
writing
tags
here
starts in
table
a
tag
new
like
line of the
this.
web page.
Here
Second
I'm
one
writing
here
table
it is
tag like
inline
this.
elements.
See,
This
title of
inline elements
this
here
one here title.
continue in
Here table tag
same line
example
of
is
web
the title.
page. Continue
So
in the
now
same
if I
line of
run
the
this
web page,
program
we
here,
call it
run
as
with live
inline
server.
elements.
See here.
So that list of
Table tag
inline elements
example
are here.
will print like this.
Here block elements
Here
as
table
well as
tag
inline
example
elements.
will print like this.
Here that list
So
of
now in
inline
this
elements
time,
are here.
Here it is about the table
Here
tag.
that
How to display
examples
the
are
table
here.
we observed.
We have covered.
Next
For
I'm
few
writing
students
here
it is
one more
already
table.
covered. Here
H1.
now I'll continue
cell
that
spacing.
examples. What all list of tags
Here,
comes under
cell
block? What all list of
spacing.
tags comes under inline?
Here cell to cell,
Here,
how much
one
gap you
is
want it, that is cell spacing.
Block elements.
Here
Here
cell to
under
cell,
this
how
block
much
elements
gap
here,
you want it,
paragraph
that we call it
tag
as cell
is
spacing.
a block element.
Here
Div
cell
tag
spacing here,
is a block
how
element.
much gap you want it, one
Table
cell to
tag
another cell,
is
that is
also
cell
a
spacing.
block element.
See here, there is a
H1
gap
to
between one cell
H6,
to another cell. This is what
H1
cell
tag,
spacing.
H2 tag, H3 tag, like that.
Similar
H1 to
way,
H6
we can
tags.
write it here.
Here
Cell padding.
H6 tags
Here
all comes
itself
under
H1.
block elements.
Here it is
Div
cell
tag is a
padding.
block element.
Cell padding
Here,
time, you
div
can
tag
check it
created.
here. How can
Here,
we give
table
the gap
tag.
between?
And here paragraph tag. Marquee tag.
Padding here it is.
Marquee tag is also a block element.
See here.
Here, marquee tag.
This is center content. All sides you can
Here,
see some
marquee
gap
tag
here.
is
This is
etc.
cell padding.
All comes under
This
block
is center
elements.
content here. All sides
Here,
you
that
can see
list of
some gap.
inline elements are here.
This is center
Inline
content. You
elements.
can see all
Second
sides gap.
category of
This
tags
is
are
cell
here.
padding.
Inline
Here
elements.
one cell
This
to
list
another
of
cell,
inline
there is a
elements
space
are here.
That is cell
I
spacing.
tag and
Center
EM tag.
content of the cell to all sides
Here,
of the cell
I
you
tag
can
and
see
EM
some
tag.
gap. This is
Both
by
are used
cell
to
padding.
display italic content.
Here table tag
Here,
example we
italic
observed
content
here
for
how
our
to
application.
give gap between one
Here,
cell to another
V
cell,
tag
that is
and
cell
strong
spacing.
tag.
And
V
here
tag
cell
and the
padding.
strong tag
Here
both are
one
used to
cell to
display
another cell, there is a
bold
gap
content
here.
for
This
us.
is cell padding.
Here, strike
Sorry,
tag.
one
Here itself,
center content of the cell to all
strike
sides of
tag
the
and
cell,
del
there is a
tag.
gap here, that is
Here,
cell padding.
both are used to
Next I'm
display
going for
strike out content
here
for us.
cell spacing,
Strike out
cell
content.
padding. Next
Here,
we
small
are going
tag.
for one more H1.
Here
it
it is used to display smaller size
call
content
span
for
is
us.
mainly used to
Here,
merge the
smaller.
columns. See here itself I'm
smaller
writing here
size
call
content.
span. Suppose if I remove
Here,
one pair
next
of TD
big
from
tag
here,
is used to
for
display
the above TD only
little
I'll
more
write call span equal
bigger
to 2.
size content.
So by this number
Here,
and name
next
both
one,
I can merge it.
Here span
See here,
tag
I'm
and
able to
mark
merge
tag.
number
Span
and
tag
name
and the
both the
mark
columns.
tag.
Here
Here,
line
mark.
first heading it is 3 columns.
Both are used to
here in
display
this,
highlighting
the
of
data,
content.
table data, it is 2
Here
columns.
itself,
See first one, second one. See this is
highlighting
because
of
of
content.
call span.
Highlighting of content we can show to the
Here
user
call
by
span.
mark tag. Next one, here span tag, mark tag. The next one here, U tag is used to display underline content for us. Underline content. Here, next one, here image SRC, how many images you wanted, those many images you can write. All will continue in the same line. Embed tag SRC is used to display videos. Any MP3, MP4 videos we can display to the user by embed tag. Then input type text is used to display text box. It is also inline element. Anchor tag, you can write it here. That anchor tag is mainly for hyperlink. Here, once you click on it, you can redirect to that URL here. This is comes under here URL. This is comes under inline element. This is also comes under inline element. Here we have that list of all tags, all are like this. Block elements and inline elements all will be like this. Block elements here, that list of all tags comes under block elements. Some list of tags all comes under inline elements. Here like this. We have block elements, we have inline elements. Block elements here. So whichever the tag starts in a new line, this comes under block elements. Here, whichever the tags continue in the same line, it is comes under inline element. Here, second example for this, I already covered for few students here. I already have 1.jpg, 1.mp4 in my current location. See, here in this, I wrote it here. Doc
Here,
type HTML
we are
head and
going
body.
to write
This is
that
the
call
standard
span
code
here.
of HTML.
We are merging two columns
Doc
of
type
information call
HTML
span.
head and body.
Next, we can write
Under
it
this
here.
HTML.
Here itself, we can write it
Next.
here. One more heading.
Here,
H1. This is
under
row
this
span.
HTML, you can
Row
see
span,
here style
see,
and
I'm
script.
using here row span
Style
here. I'm
tag is
going
used to
merge
display
two rows.
CSS. Script
See,
tag is
here
used
I'll
to write
remove.
JavaScript.
See, I have to. I want to
Inside
write
this
two
body
rows
tag, you can
information
see here
TR
H1
start
to
and close.
H6.
Under this TD,
Here,
here 1 or 2 TD and the
H1
name
to
and salary. I
H6
can
all
write
comes
it.
under block elements.
Here name
Here,
and
H1 tag
salary.
to
I'm writing
H6
like
tags
this.
all comes under
Now you can see
block
that
elements.
here
Block
table it
elements
is
for our
displaying like
program,
this.
we will write like this.
Here 3
Here,
columns
block
and
elements
3
are here.
rows.
H1 to
2 rows.
H6 all comes
It is
under
displaying
block
like
elements.
this. 2 rows here.
H1
Other
tag,
than
H2
heading,
tag,
2
H3,
rows.
H4, H5, H6,
Now
div
if I
tag,
want to merge
and I
two,
tag for
two
italic,
rows here,
EM tag for italic content, and
2
strong
rows if I
tag,
want to
bold
merge
tag,
here.
strike tag,
See,
del
I'll
tag,
remove one
U
pair
tag.
of TD from here.
Here all
For
I
the
already
second
wrote
row.
for few
I'll
students.
go to the
See
first
that,
row.
that example
For
only
this
I'm showing
only.
for you.
Here,
Here,
for this
now
only,
run
I'll
this
write
program.
row span equal to 2. Here itself, I'm writing row
Here,
span
now
equal
you
to 2.
can
So by
see
this, I
here
can merge
H1
two
to
rows
H6,
information.
all different sizes
Here,
of headings for our
this,
program.
I
Here,
can merge
H1
two
to
rows
H6,
information
all
for my
different
program.
sizes of headings for our
Here,
program. Here, H1 will show you
two
bigger
rows
size heading.
information. We can merge it
H6
here
will
by
show
row
you
span.
smaller size
Here
heading.
itself, we are writing here
H1
call
to
span and row
H6,
span.
all different
Call
sizes of
span is
headings
used to merge
for
two
our
columns.
application.
Row span is used to merge two rows.
Here,
How to
H1 will
merge
be
the
bigger
columns,
size
how to
heading,
merge the
H6
rows,
will be
that you
smaller
can check
size
it
heading.
in this example.
Here, next we
Here,
can write
suppose
it
if you
here.
don't remove
Heading
that,
tags we are writing here,
here,
and div
suppose if you
tag we are
don't
writing
remove
here.
that,
Italic content
here if you
and
don't
EM
remove one
tag
pair
both
of
are
TD,
used to display.
how it will
Both are used to
display in the
display
table,
bold
that you
content
can
for
check
us.
it. See, I'll
Strike
show you
tag
that.
and del tag both are used to display strikeout content for us. 1 second.
Suppose if I don't remove the one pair of TD, here it is 1 or 2, it is here only. See here how the table is disturbing. So number is coming to the name. Here
Block elements and inline elements. Under this block elements, you can see here
we are going to
tag how it is displaying
rows and
that
columns.
output. See, now right click inspect element on this. Now you can see that here. See here. Now you here. Now you can see here H1, it is a bigger size heading. See that font size is 2em. So by default, every tag has its own CSS code. H1 tag it is showing here 2em is the font size.
Okay.
And that
Here,
display
that
block
rows and columns information we
for
are
that
writing
H1
here.
tag
In
it
this
is
rows
showing
and
here
columns
display
information.
block.
Here, if you
Display
don't remove
block,
one
it
pair
will
of
display
TD from the
here
second row,
that
that will
item
come
in the
here.
new line.
That name is going to the
Here
salary. Salary is
display
going outside
block,
of
we
the
use it
table.
here to display
So this way you will get output
that
because of
element
this call
here
span
in
and
the
row
new
span.
line. H1,
Here
H2,
call
H3,
span is
here
merging two
all will
columns.
write like
Row
this.
span is merging
Here
two rows.
H1, H2 is
Here
here
call span and row spans
1.5
will
em
write
and
like
display
this.
block.
So next,
Like this, you can
here
find it
call
H1,
span and row
H2,
span
H3,
for our
H6
program we can
and
write
italic.
like this.
Here
This way
all
only
comes
we can
under
execute.
display block. So all
So
are comes
now
under
I'm
block
going
elements.
for here
I
call
tag for
span, row
italic,
span
em tag
completed.
also for italic. Here strong font
This is
weight
totally
bold.
about the table.
Here B
Table for
tag
our
is also
program we are
font weight
writing
bold.
TRTD and
Here
we had
strike
recording
tag
how
is
to
used to
display
display
on the
text
table
decoration
and how
line
we
through.
can display our output.
Here
We
del
understood
tag
under
is
this.
also text decoration
Here
line
call
through.
span, row span, cell
U
spacing,
tag is
cell
for
tag. If
underline
you
content.
don't
Here span tag it
if
will
you
highlight
want
the
to merge
content.
3 rows information,
And
you
mark
can remove
tag,
here one
see
more
here
TD.
background color
Here
mark,
one more
color
row
mark
you can
text.
write it here. So by
And
that you can
here
merge 3
image
rows.
tag is used to display
See,
images.
if you want to merge
See,
3 rows
image it is
information
displaying
here.
1.jpg.
So for this we can
Mark
write
tag
it
by
here row
default
span
it will
equal
show
to
you
3.
yellow color.
By
Next
this,
embed tag,
see here.
it is used to display any
You can check
video
it
for
here.
our
3
application.
rows are merged
Video.
like this.
Videos for our
3
program
rows
we
are
can show to the
merged like
user
this.
by
This
embed
is what
tag.
here row span.
See, if you open this embed
Here
tag here,
call span
now
and row
you can
span
see that
for our
here
program. This is
document.
cell spacing and
Here
cell padding
under
for
this
our
only
program.
you can see
This
here.
way only we can execute our
Here
program.
input
This is
type
the way
text.
we can write
Input
our
type
program.
text
We can
is used to
execute.
display text box for their
Is it clear
output.
this table tag? All 4
Here
students.
these are all inline elements. So this list of tags after div tag, whatever
Sandeep,
tags we have, all will
Visai.
continue in the same
Yes,
line
ma'am,
of the
it's
web
clear.
page. All comes under inline elements.
Any
Like
doubts, any
this,
students?
we have that
Clear
list of
for
all elements are here.
Sandeep, yes.
Block elements and inline elements.
Santosh.
Here up to now, I explained basic introduction part at 8 p.m. I started my session and I at 8 p.m. onwards I continued on basic introduction part of UI and each topic brief information. After that HTML4 introduction, HTML4 first program that is on pair and unpair tag, HTML4 second program that is comes under block and inline elements. So up to now is it clear for you all?
He is not in.
Yes, up to now is it clear for you all?
Karimullah, yes. Okay. Santosh, is it clear for you table tag?
All clear. Yes. Okay. Sandeep, Santosh, and Karimullah. So for you, it is just a revision session. I
here,
gave
up to
4-5
now,
days holidays, right?
We
So it
discussed
is a
table tag. What all
revision session for
attributes we
you.
have under this table.
And
we
for
understood.
Wesley,
Next tag here.
Norma,
So fifth
Norma
one
mode.
here.
So for
UL tag,
him, it is the first introduction
UL
session.
tag for unordered list.
Yes.
OL tag
Here,
is for
next
ordered
I'm going
list.
for
Generally, I'll cover UL,
second
OL,
program.
and then anchor tag
Here.
with the href.
I'll upload everyday recordings in OneDrive. So you'll get my drive
Here,
access.
frame set tag, how to use
Here,
it.
everyday class will be uploaded in OneDrive.
Then
So today's
tag,
recording
name
also I'll
and
upload it
content
in
all.
this drive.
Here, eighth
Here,
one input element.
so by that you
input
will
tag,
get
text
everyday
button,
class
radio
related
button,
files.
all.
So my
Next,
class
after
related
this,
total content
ninth
you
one
can
here,
get
it
it.
is form tag method equal to either get or
Here,
post
recordings.
and action page.
See,
Here,
in
these
this recordings
all
folder,
contents, these all
you can
tags we are
see
going
here
to learn under
what all class we
HTML4.
have completed. All class recordings are
Under
uploaded here.
HTML4,
See, 12th December last session. Today I'm continuing 17th December. This one also I'll upload here.
Next,
So
after
everyday class
completion of
files
these
I'll
all,
upload
I'll
here
go on
in
to
this
the
drive. So by that you can
CSS2
check it everyday class and you will, we
CSS2,
can
in that what all
continue
properties we
every day.
have and how to apply that all
Here,
properties to our application, how to execute
this drive
all
is
those
already
things we'll
shared
learn.
with the students.
And
Few list of
tomorrow
students.
onwards,
For
regularly
Wesley,
my
if I
class
get your your mail address from organizer. If you complete your registration, then you will get this drive access.
Okay,
In this
inform
drive,
to organizer
you
to
will
change
get
the link.
here recordings. Here in
Link
this
will be
recordings
same,
folder, you will
but
get
class
all the
timing will be
list of
8:30
recordings.
8:30
We
p.m.
can
to
test
9:30 p.m. I'll
once topic
continue every day
completed. I'll
session.
upload a question paper
Here
on this weekend test
today
folder.
Wednesday we
Then
continued on
programs
table
folder.
bank. I'll continue list
Here
elements
in the
UL
programs
and
folder,
OL.
everyday class
These
programs I'll
recordings
upload it here in the
your
programs folder.
drive.
See, first
I
two
didn't got
programs,
yesterday
video, audio,
recording
both
from
are
organizer.
uploaded here.
So yesterday recording and today's recording, both I'll
Here,
upload it in
next
your
one
drive.
here,
See,
paint
I
file.
think now I
Everyday
got
class paint file I'll upload here
two
in this paint
recordings.
window.
See, I'll
Then
download this
documents here.
recordings. I'll
Everyday
upload it in
class
your
documents
drive.
I'll upload
So by
here.
this, you
So
can
like
get
this, I'll
my
upload everyday
here,
class, everyday file. So by that, you will get my drive
here,
access. We will continue
you will
our
get my
everyday class.
files,
Here, up to
recording
now,
files.
I have completed
So by
here
that, you
what all
can check
list of
my
tanks.
everyday class
Here,
recordings.
what all pair,
Everyday
what all
class
unpair,
recordings, you can
and
check
what
it
all the
here.
list of
With that, you
tags
can
comes under
download that
block
file and
elements
you
and
can
list of tags comes under
sorry,
inline
not
elements
download.
we
You can
completed up to now.
check that. You can listen that recordings every day.
Okay, up
So
to now
everyday
we
class I'm
completed what all
uploading in
list of
one
tags
8:30
comes
p.m.
under
drive.
block elements, what
So
all list
8:30
of
p.m.
tags
one
comes
drive
under
I
inline
already
elements we
created for your
completed up
batch.
to now.
In that drive
Next,
only
I'm
I'm
going
uploading
for
everyday
one more
files.
one here.
So you
Under
can
this
check
block
that drive
element only,
for
mark
my
you
class
tag.
files.
I'll explain separately
Okay, you
one
can
of
check
the
that
block
drive
element
for
here,
my
that is
class
mark you tag.
related files.
That is
See,
third
I'll show
program
you
of
my
our
8:30
content.
p.m.
That is
folder.
what here mark you tag.
This
Okay.
is 6
Here
a.m.
mark you tag is
This is
mainly used
8:30
to
p.m.
display
Here up to
scrolling
12th
content
December
for
I
us.
uploaded every
See
12th
here.
December. Did I take in any class?
Here mark you.
12th December I didn't
Mark
take
you
in
is
any
one
class.
tag.
11th.
It is mainly used to display scrolling content for
12th
our
I
application.
already traveled.
Here scrolling content.
Thursday night
That scrolling
I
content for
traveled to
our
some other
application
place.
we can show to the user by
11th I
mark.
continued. Okay, maybe this 12th is wrong. So up to 11th December I continued
Here,
your class.
this
9th
mark you,
December, 5th
whatever content
December,
I am
all I
displaying
continued
here,
your class.
that content
After this,
will move
yesterday
it from
onwards,
right to left or
here.
left to right.
Yesterday 17th onwards I'm continuing your
Here,
class.
by
17th recording. After
by
11th
default,
recording,
scrolling
17th and
content
18th recordings
by
I'll upload
default
it in your
scrolling
drive.
content will continue from
Okay, so up to 11th
right side to
11th
right to left.
9
By
p.m.
default, scrolling
11th
content
9
will
p.m. only.
move
That
from
week I
right side
continued
to
at 9
left
p.m.
side.
This week onwards we'll
Here,
continue.
now
Tomorrow
you
onwards,
can
19th
find it
onwards,
here.
everyday
That
class
same mark you
starts at
tag.
8:30 p.m. to 9:30
Here,
p.m.
that
for the
same
next
mark
few
you
days.
tag, we
After
can
that,
write
I'll
it
change
with all
your
different
I'll
attributes
increase
here.
your class
That is
timing to 1 hour
direction.
15 minutes. So
Here
every
I'm
day it
writing
will
here
be till end of the
direction.
course.
You
I'll
can
continue
write
same
it this
time 8:30
direction
p.m.
here
to 9:30
towards
p.m.
left direction,
Up to
right
9:45
direction,
I'll extend
up direction, down
yeah,
direction.
depends on that
Any
topic.
direction
So once
content
I
we can
start
write it here
JavaScript
by
topic
this
I want
mark
to
you.
explain for the 1 hour 15
Here
minutes.
mark you can
So
write like
in
this.
future I'll
And this
change, I'll
mark you
increase
we can
your
also
class
write
timing.
it with the
But
scroll
class timing every day will be
here mark you tag
8:30 p.m. to 9:30
we can
p.m.
also write it
tomorrow
here.
onwards. And mostly
Here
link will be
itself
same
mark
link
you.
or
We can
different
write
link
this
that I'll
mark you
contact the
tag
organizer. They'll share
here
that link with you.
with a
Okay.
direction.
Everyday class recordings
Here up
other
and
than
down,
demo
right and
recordings,
left,
remaining all
and
recordings
scroll
I
amount,
uploaded in this track.
how much speed you want, and only for the left and right direction content, only for left and right, we can write behavior alternate.
Here in this drive,
Behavior
other than demo
alternate is the
recording, every file I
alternate behavior
uploaded.
for our application.
And today
So
onwards,
like
we'll
this,
continue
we can
all
write
session
it.
numbers and
Now
all session
you can
recordings.
check
You
it.
can check it through my drive.
Here,
So by
this is
that,
what here mark you.
whenever you miss
Mark
any
you
class
dot
or if
HTML,
you're not able to implement any
save.
program, you can open that
Here
sequence
doc
number,
type,
session number wise.
HTML, and
You can open my
and
file
followed
and you
by
can listen my recording
body.
and you can do your program.
Under this head,
Now, I'm
writing
continuing
here
on this
title.
fifth one,
Here,
UL time. Tomorrow,
mark you tag example
Thursday, I'll
is the
continue on
title.
anchor tag and frame set.
Here
anchor tag.
under this, I'm
Saturday,
writing here
sorry,
mark
Friday,
you.
I'll continue on input
For
element
this, I'm
and
writing
form
here
tag.
scrolling content.
Saturday,
Here,
I'll upload one
suppose
question
I'm
paper
writing
under
scrolling
HTML4
content. default.
And Saturday I'll
Here,
continue on
now run this program. Inside the body, I'm writing
here
scrolling
CSS2
content.
introduction part.
See here,
And
one
revision of
scrolling content, it is
HTML4 and
started from
CSS2
right side,
introduction part I'll continue.
started at right and
Saturdays
moving
generally
towards
I'll
left.
conduct
This
test
is
and
default.
I'll take project
By
session.
default,
In that
mark
project
tag
session, how
starts
to
at right
develop our
side and it will
application,
move towards
that
left
you will
side.
understand under that project
Every
session.
time it will start at
Here,
right side
now
and move
I'm
towards
continuing
left
on
side.
this UL.
If you want to change
Here,
the
this
direction
UL
here,
tag,
now
UL
you can
is
write
mainly
it
for
here,
unordered
direction
list.
right.
UL and
So
OL
it will
tag, we
move,
use it for
that scrolling
ordered and
content
unordered
will
list.
move towards right direction.
Here, UL.
Here, scrolling content, see here,
Under this
one
UL,
is default
you can
scrolling
find it
content,
here,
default
that list
marquee tag.
elements, how to write
Second,
it.
right.
How
So by
many
that,
list
that
elements we
marquee
wanted,
content
those
is
many
moving
list
towards
elements we
right
can show
direction.
for our program.
Next, we
Item
can
1,
write it
item 2,
here.
item
That
3,
same
all the
marquee
list of
tag, we
elements.
can write it here with a left.
We will write like this.
So scrolling content will
Here,
move towards
all
left
list
side.
elements for my program
See
will
here,
write like
one
this.
content is moving towards here right side. Here default content is moving towards right side. Left content here right, it will move towards right, and left by default it is left only. If you don't write any direction of marquee, that is comes under direction left. If you wantedly write, it is left. If you don't write anything, it is also left.
Here, this elements,
Here,
whatever I'm
next
writing
we
here,
can
this
write
is
it here,
unordered list.
direction up.
This one, it is
Here by
unordered
this,
list.
here
Next,
suppose if
similar
I
way,
write
we
any
can
image
write it
here,
here, ordered
this
list.
image will move
Ordered
towards
list, we
up
can
direction.
write unordered list. You can
See, one image is
here, this
started
is OL tag.
from bottom and
OL
it is moving towards
Under
up
this,
direction.
how many
Here
list
it is
elements
started.
we wanted, those
Why?
many list
Because
elements
if you
we can
don't
show.
write any scrolling
Here
content
only you
marquee
can
tag for
find
this,
item 1,
how the
item 2,
image
item
area
3.
is occupied
How many list
in this
elements we
place,
wanted,
that within that
those many
area
list
only it will
elements we
show
can
you
show
up direction
for our
content.
program. This is what
Here, this way we
ordered
can
list.
write it here, direction
Ordered
up.
list will write like this.
Similar way, we can write it here, direction down.
See,
Here by
let me write
this,
the
here itself
program
you
on
can
this
see that here.
ordered list.
See, I'm using
Unordered list.
HR tag.
And what all types are allowed and all I'll
Here in
explain to you.
between this, I want
And
to
tomorrow
use one
onwards, directly
horizontal line.
8:30. Today I started
See,
at 8 p.m.
one
and
content
I revised
will
the
move
session
towards
for
up
one
direction,
student
one content
and
towards down
installation
direction.
procedure and all I
See here,
explained for one
one
student.
image and content is
So,
moving in up direction. One image and
I'll
content
end
is
our
moving
class
in down
after
direction.
this UL/OL tag.
This is because of
And tomorrow
marquee.
8:30 only I'll
Because of
directly
marquee
start my
only,
session.
I'm able
I'll
to move
continue
my
up to 9:30.
content towards up direction, towards down
Tomorrow
direction.
onwards, every day till end
This
of the
is
course,
because of
8:30 p.m. to
marquee.
9:30 p.m. only.
Here, because of
I
marquee
will
only,
continue
we can
everyday
able to
class
show
on the
output like
continuation of
this.
tags. By Saturday, we'll
Here,
complete
output for our
HTML4.
application, we can write
So
by
next week,
marquee.
complete week,
So
we
output
will
will be
spend
like
on
this.
CSS2 topic. Here, then
Here,
last week
next,
of
after this
December,
marquee
we'll
tag,
continue on the
here I'm writing here marquee.
JavaScript topic.
Because of this marquee
Here, this
tag,
weekend,
how
I'll
the
take project
content will
session.
move
And
up
these
direction,
days will
how the
continue on
content will move down
here.
direction,
These
that
days
you
will
can check
continue on
it.
the remaining
Here, next one, here
remaining
after
content.
moving up and
Remaining
down
content
direction,
here.
here only you can
JavaScript.
check.
So 30th December onwards, every day we'll
behavior
continue on the
alternate.
JavaScript.
Only for the left and
Okay,
right,
so this is my plan.
here only for
So
the
now,
left and right,
let me
and
save
default one we
here
can write
HTML
behavior
ordered unordered list.
alternate. Because of this
Here,
behavior
ordered list,
alternate,
unordered
how
list,
the
list
content
dot
will
list.
behave. Check it.
So now list.html
Behavior
dot type HTML
alternate.
head and body.
See here.
Here head.
See
and
this
body
towards
tag.
left direction, towards
Under
right
this
direction
head, I'm writing
content
here
only
title.
will move in between the
Title
left
here.
and right. See, once it touched the
Here,
end point, it is
title of
coming
the
back.
application,
Once it
here
touched
it
the
is.
left end point, it is
List
coming
tag
back.
example is the title.
So this type of output we
Here
can show
body
to the
tag
user
H1.
by
Here it is unordered
here
list.
this type of output we can show to the
Unordered
user
list.
by scrolling
Under
content.
this, I'm writing UL.
Here this is what we
Here,
are scrolling
under
content.
this
Because
UL,
of this scrolling content,
I'm
we can
writing
move the
LI.
content towards
Here
left,
only
towards
all
right,
items we can write.
left and right direction
Item
content we
1,
can
2,
show to the
3s,
user
we are
by
writing like
marquee.
this. Here now
Because of
similar
this
way I'll
marquee
write
tag,
H1
we can
ordered
move the
list.
content towards left and
Ordered
right like
list.
this.
For this you can write
Here,
OL.
a left direction or a right
For
direction
this you can
content we
write
can show
all
to the
your
user
list elements here.
by
Item 1,
this
2, 3
marquee
list
tag.
elements you can write like this.
See here.
Here,
in between
1,
the
1,
screen
1, 2,
only
1,
it is
2.
showing scrolling
Now,
content.
if I run this program here,
See here.
see,
Once
you
it
can see
touched
that
the left hand
execution
point,
will
it
be
is
like
coming
this.
back.
Here,
Right
this
hand
is
point
ordered
coming back.
list. This
This
is
is about the
unordered list,
third
ordered
program,
list.
mark your tag.
By default, unordered
Here
list
we
will
discussed
show you
today 3
with the
programs
list
and
elements.
HTML4.
Here,
Before that,
all list
introduction
element
session of
style
UI
type.
and
Here it
introduction
is
of each topic we
disk.
discussed.
Here, for this
in this
ordered
time,
list, all
how to
list
create
elements
that
will show
left
you
to
with
right,
1.
right to left, and this
1,
mark
2,
you
3,
tag, how
it
we
will
can
show
use
you
it
for
to
ordered
develop
list.
that
For
scrolling
this, it
content
is
we observed
here
in this.
disk. By default, it is
In
list
this
style
mark
type
you
is
tag,
disk. Here,
direction
for
is
this,
one
by
attribute.
default, it is 1, 2,
By
3.
that we can show you
Okay. So,
left
if I
to right,
mention
right
here,
to left,
see that
top to
ordered
bottom,
list I'm
bottom to
writing
top.
here. That
Next
ordered
one,
list, whatever I'm writing here,
here only for the left
that
and right
if you
direction,
want,
I
you can
explain
change
here
the type
behavior
here.
alternate.
Type equal to
And other one here,
disk.
behavior alternate, it
Circle.
works for only left and
Circle,
right
disk,
content.
square. Allowed
Next
for
I explain
unordered
here
list.
scroll amount.
Here it is type equal
Scroll
to
amount
circle,
for any type
type
of
equal
tag.
to
For
square.
any direction content, we
Here,
can write the
type
scroll
equal
amount.
to circle,
Here,
disk,
because
square.
of this scroll
Here
amount,
it is.
how the
See
content
here,
will show you
by
output.
default it
Check
is disk. If
See,
you
if I write
mention
20
disk, even
here,
though it is
see
disk.
here.
Other than
Comparing
this,
with the
see
down,
here,
down
circle,
direction, left
square.
direction is little bit faster.
Circle, disk,
See,
square.
little bit
This
faster.
is disk, this is circle, this
See,
is
this
square.
is because of
Check
mark
it clearly.
Because
This
of
is
mark
disk.
you
By
only,
default,
I'm
you will
able to
tag with
display
a
output
disk.
like this.
Here it is circle.
Here, this is down
square.
direction.
This is disk. This
Okay.
way it will show
This
that
way
out.
we can create.
Next,
Okay.
you can see that
So
that
in the
ordered
last
list
session,
also
I
same.
explained actually
That
for
ordered
few
list,
students, I
you can
explained
write
this
it
block
here.
and inline elements, pair and unpaired tag
Here
in the
itself,
last,
I'm writing ordered
up
list.
to
That is
12th
OL
December,
tag.
I continued.
Here under
And today I
this,
have taken
see,
like demo
item
and
1,
I
2, 3
continued
we
with
are
the
placing here.
previous all programs,
Here,
revised it. And then I
here
continued
item
with
1,
the
2, 3
remaining
I'm writing.
content.
Here list
Okay.
elements are here.
So this is about
22,
the
23, 24, something if I write. Here by
today's
default it is
topic.
with 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
If you mention
Up
type
to now, if
equal
you have
to,
any doubt, you can ask.
here
Please.
type equal to capital ABCs. Here only you can write OL tag.
VCL
Type equal to
and
small
remaining
ABCs.
students. Sandeep, Santosh,
Here
Karimulla.
for element. Here
Any
1, 2,
doubt?
3s you can write. Here itself you can write that OL tag. Here OL tag I'm writing here. This OL tag
Sandeep,
only
no doubt.
we can write it here. Type
Here,
equal
this is
to
the list of students who
capital
are coming
ABCs,
for my
small ABCs,
8:30
and then
p.m.
type
batch.
equal to
And
here,
tomorrow
smaller Roman
onwards,
letters.
you
and
can join
capital
at
Roman
8:30
letters.
p.m. only. 8 p.m.
These
if
are
any new
allowed
student
types
join,
for
I'll
the
continue.
UL,
8:30,
OL
you can continue my
Here
class.
capital Roman
So
letters.
we'll continue with our
So now if you check
continuation
it
session in
here,
the same link
run this
till end
program
of
here,
this
run
week.
it with live server.
Until this weekend,
See, you
we'll
can check
continue
it
at
here.
8:30 p.m.
This
to
ordered
9:30
list,
p.m.
how it is displaying.
Okay. So I
Ordered
got
list by
only
default
6
it is 1, 2, 3.
registrations.
If you
If
mention
Wesley
here
complete
capital
its
ABC,
registration,
smaller
then I'll
ABC,
get
smaller Roman
7
numbers,
students.
capital Roman numbers.
All 7 students.
These are allowed for our ordered
You will
list.
get my drive access. You
For
will get
our
my
ordered
mail
list,
address.
it is allowed like
Okay.
this.
This is my mail address.
Here,
I'll
for this
communicate with the
ordered
students
list,
through mail
it is
address.
allowed like this.
If any
See
no
here,
class or a
that
class
is 1, 2, 3,
information, anything,
capital
generally I'll
ABC,
share
small
with the
ABC, smaller
students
Roman
through mail.
numbers, capital Roman numbers.
This is my mail
These
address.
are allowed
Wesley,
for
you will get
ordered
this mail
list.
address after completion of your registration.
Here,
And you will get my drive access.
unordered list, it is allowed here. By default, it is
Okay,
disk.
you will get my this 8:30 p.m.
If you
drive
write
access.
it here,
Tomorrow you can join at
circle,
8
see
p.m.
it is
only.
circle, square.
Wesley.
Like
And
this.
remaining all students, same link,
Here,
join at 8:30.
next we are writing here
8:30 p.m.
that
IST.
ordered list only.
Yes,
Here,
Wesley,
ordered
any
list or
doubts?
unordered list. If you write it here, nested list element. Under one list element, you can write one more UL. Under this, you can
Yes,
write it here
Wesley.
like this. See, this is main list element followed by sublist.
All
By
clear.
default, main list
Okay.
element with the disk,
So,
sublist elements with
contact
the circle.
Durga Soft organizer.
Suppose if you want to write one more
share
sublist element
my
for
mail
this,
address with
again
you,
under your
and they'll
line,
give
I'm
this
writing
drive
one
access
more
with
one.
you.
See, I'm writing
Okay, so
here
if you share
22,
your mail
33,
address after
44,
completion
something
of
I'm writing
registration
here.
with them,
See here.
they'll share
By
your
default,
drive
outer
access with
list
me.
elements with a disk, inner list elements with a circle, inner
Here
list elements with
they'll
a
share
square.
my drive
Here,
access
by
with you
default, outer list
and my
elements with a
mail address with you.
disk.
So by
Here,
that you
inner
can
list
communicate
elements
with
with a
me
circle,
in the
nested
next
list
session.
elements with a
If
square.
whenever you want, you can
So this
communicate.
type of
And
output we
today
can
you
show
all try to install Visual
For our
Studio
program,
Code
this is what
and try
here,
to write
unordered
these
list.
all programs in your VS Code.
Unordered list for our application, we
I
can
think
write
other
like
than
this.
Wesley, remaining all
Unordered
students are very
list
clear.
for our program,
So
we can
tomorrow
write like
onwards,
this.
8:30
Ordered
p.m.
list
you
and
can join
unordered
remaining
list for
old
my
students.
program, we can write like
Only
this.
for new students, I'll
Here,
start
this
at
way
8
only
p.m.
we can write our program.
Okay,
Ordered list
that's
or
it for
unordered
today.
list for
Thank you.
my program, we
We'll
can
meet
write like
tomorrow
this.
for the continuation.
Here, this way we can write it. Next one, here only we are writing here sublist elements for
Yesterday we
OL
discussed
tag.
what is UI,
Here,
what
this
all
is main
topics
list
comes
element
under
with
this
a
UI.
1, 2, 3.
Here,
Sublist
UI
element, even if
programming,
you write it,
UI here it is
see
a
OL
user
tag if I write it
interface.
under this
To
list
create
element,
this
if I
user
write it,
interactive page,
all list elements will show
we
you
have to learn
here
HTML 4 and
with
5,
1, 2, 3 only.
CSS
See,
2 and
main
3,
list element 1, 2,
third
3,
topic
sublist elements
JavaScript,
also 1, 2, 3.
here fourth one
This main
jQuery,
list element and sublist
here
element where you
fifth
can
one
use
here
it.
Ajax,
Suppose if you open any
sixth one
university
responsive
or a
design,
college site, here
seventh one
that
will
menu
be here
bar.
Bootstrap,
Generally, UL tag
eighth
we
one
use
will
it
be
here.
here
Main
lessons
list
as
element and
programming,
sublist element, sublist element. This is main menu, sub menu,
lessons as programming,
and inside
ninth
that
one here
one more
project,
submenu.
10th one here exam.
See, this type
Total
of output
duration
is
of my
because of
content will be
here
here 2
UL.
months. 2 months
Because
I'm
of
going
UL
to
tag
continue.
only, we are going to show our output like this. Now,
Here
right
we
click
will
inspect
continue on all
element on
this.
this. You
Okay,
can
let
check
me
your
save.
execution here. Like
18th.
this. Here, this is UL. This is
19th.
main list element, followed
Here
by sublist element,
in
followed
this
by
HTML is a
sub-sublist.
hypertext markup language.
So this type of
It
output we
basically
can show
creates
for our program. This
here
is
it
possible
basically
by
creates
UL
a skeleton
and OL.
part of the web page.
Here
Skeleton
UL
part
tag
of
I'm
web
using
page.
here. UL tag.
CSS it will
This is
create
main
make a
list
part.
element,
So
followed
style
by
part of
sublist element. How to display
style
our
part of
output,
web
that you
page.
can check it.
Here
UL,
JavaScript
right click,
it will add it
delete
here functionality.
So because if I
Functionality of
delete
web
that
page.
UL tag, output
Next
will be
jQuery.
here. You cannot see any menu bar. So
Here
anywhere
jQuery
menu
is
bar,
a
main menu,
external
sub-menu, sub-submenus, all menu bars we can create it by UL tag.
External library of
Today,
JavaScript.
new content here, table tag and UL tag. Table tag and UL OL tag. This is ordered, unordered list and table tag. These two we discussed in today's session. Tomorrow, Thursday, I'll continue on the anchor tag and the frame set and meta tag example. After that, Friday, I'll continue on input element and the form tag. Saturday, I'll revise the session and I'll continue on the CSS 2 topic on Saturday. Okay, this is my plan. So accordingly, we'll work out all our
jQuery is
syllabus.
a external
Okay,
library of
that's it for today.
JavaScript. It is
We'll
an
meet,
external file. By that we can
tomorrow at
easily
8:30
develop
p.m.
our
regular
application.
8:30 p.m. All students join at
Ajax here
8:30
it is
p.m. for
here.
the continuation of session.
Asynchronous
Up to now, any doubts?
JavaScript and XML. It is a combination of JavaScript and XML. In this time, how
Yes,
to
please. Up to
implement
now,
our
any
Ajax
doubts?
call with JavaScript, Ajax call with jQuery. Here, JavaScript Ajax, comma jQuery Ajax, you can understand here. In responsive design time, you will understand how to develop our application for
Yes,
mobile
all of
phone,
you.
tablet,
Up to now, any
desktop.
doubts?
In all different resolution, how to show our output, that you will understand under responsive design. Next one, Bootstrap. It's a framework of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. HTML, CSS, JavaScript framework only, we call it as Bootstrap. Here, next one here, lessons as, it is a superset of CSS. Superset of CSS. CSS only, but under that it is a superset.
We'll meet tomorrow for
Some
the
extra,
continuation
we
of
will learn it
syllabus.
under this lesson. Here project, in this project time you will learn, this project sessions generally I'll continue on Saturday sessions. One Saturday project session, one Saturday exam. Like that I'll continue. Once one topic completed, the topic related exam I'll conduct. So this is basic information of each topic what I covered yesterday. To write this programming, UI programming, we have to use one IDE here. IDE here it is a integrated development environment.
Here, integrated development environment, we call it as IDE. Here in this IDE, here we have so many IDEs: Visual Studio Code, Autumn, Brackets, NetBeans, here IntelliJ. You can use IntelliJ and Dreamweaver. Here, Dreamweaver. Here, 7th. Autumn, Brackets, Dreamweaver. Here, Eclipse. You can also use Eclipse. Here, like this, so many IDEs we have to develop our application. To develop our UI programming, we have so many IDEs we have. These IDEs are helpful to write our program easily. Normally, you can write your program in Notepad, you can execute it by browser. You can write it in Notepad, you can execute it by browser. But because of this IDE, here, because of this IDE, you can easily develop your application. Here, now, this is what here IDE. Here, here, Notepad, you can write your program in Notepad. You can execute it in the browser. Here, in this Notepad, whatever content I'm writing here, that content you can execute it through browser. Through browser, you will execute your program. Okay, so this time, whenever we write our program here, that program automatically executed by browser only. Here, browser can easily execute our program. It is possible by IDE, Integrated Development Environment. This is what here IDE. This IDE here, VS Code is one IDE. If you don't use IDE, you can go with the Notepad. But nowadays, every development is going on with the IDE only. Integrated Development Environment we are using to develop our application. Okay, so everywhere we are using Java students will use Eclipse or IntelliJ. PHP students will use XAMPP, WAMP, LAMP. Those all servers, and we can use that related IDEs. And framework is one IDE. You can use it to develop our application. Next, you can also use here frameworks you can use to develop the application, as well as here every platform operating system, just programming related IDEs, we will use it to write our programs. Here, VS Code is one IDE, Autumn is one IDE. These are all helpful for writing our programs in our Windows system or operating system. Any type of operating system, you can use it to write our programs. Here, now I'm going for IDE, for web UI development, we always go with the Visual Studio Code. Present in development environment in the classroom and classroom sake, we are using here one IDE here. That is what here, Visual Studio Code. In the real time, as well as in the present development time. In real-time development and in classroom development, we are using IDE here, that is Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is helpful to design our output, to develop our application. Here, you can go for Google. So once you click on this search option here, once you search for VS Code here, you will redirect to here you will redirect to vscode.exe file. Once you double click on it, here couple of next clicks, here it will be installed in our system. Once this is installed, that Visual Studio Code is installed in our system, by that we can execute our program. Here, once it is installed in our system, automatically we can execute our program. See here, go to the download option. Here, download option of this Visual Studio Code. Here, go to the downloads. Under this, you can find it here. See, this is VS Code IDE. Last one. Visual Studio Code IDE is like this. Here, this is one Eclipse IDE. Eclipse IDE, we use it for Java. Visual Studio Code IDE will use it for web UI development. So once you double click on it, here already it is open. So I don't want to open, close. Here that IDE, I'll close it. Here, once you double click on it, on this Visual Studio Code, here in this time, you can see here accept terms and conditions. This is one license. Just click on next button. Here what you want to install, it will give you all list, and click on next button. Once you click install button here, automatically this will be installed in our system. Here this will be installed in our systems. Here already I have this installation, so I'll open that. Here after couple of next clicks, it will be installed. Then go for computer start button. Under this you can search for VS Code. See computer start button, search for VS Code, enter. By this Visual Studio Code you can see here like this. Visual Studio Code will be loaded into our system like this. After this, just open that file here. File, open, folder option will be there. File, open, folder. Then documents, here. See, you can create your own folder. 8 p.m. folder I'm creating. Just select that folder. See, 8 p.m. folder is loaded into our Visual Studio Code. Here, this way you can open your folder. Any folder anywhere in your system, that you can open it into our system by this. Okay. So now you can find new file and new folder. So once you click on this new folder, here you can create separate folder for HTML4 topic. See, HTML4 topic here. I created one separate folder here. Under this separate folder, here it's HTML4 folder. Here HTML4 folder I'm creating. Here I'm creating here. Under this HTML4 folder, I'm going to write one new file here. This is here one.html program. One.html program. See, any HTML page is standard code here, doc type HTML head and body. Without writing anything, suppose if you write welcome like this, even though you can execute your program. But according to WWW, World Wide Web Consortium, according to that rule, we have to write our code. Okay. Here, in this one.html program, this one.html program, how can we execute? See here, go to the VS Code. There is an option called file. Open folder will be there. By that, you can open your own folder, 8 p.m. folder anywhere in your system. We can create subfolder HTML4. Under this, we can write our one.html program. Like this, we can write. In this one.html program, generally we will write that standard code of HTML. Here, standard code of HTML. So now you can check it. Here you can write it here, doc type, HTML start and close. Here only we can write it here, head start and close, and body start and close. Here, body start, body close. Under this head section, we can write it here. Script tag, we use it here for writing JavaScript code. Here, style tag, we use it here for writing CSS code. Script tag and then style tag, we'll use it. Under this body tag, what all the other tags will write it, that is all related to HTML. What all other tags will write it here, those all related to HTML. All our HTML tags. Okay. Inside the body tag, whatever we write it, those all comes under HTML tags. See, without writing any HTML tag, I wrote my code like this. To execute this program, we will go for VS Code. There is an option called extensions. Under this extension, you can find it here. Search for live server. Just click on install button. By this, live server will be installed in our system. Go to the extensions. Search for live server. See, this is live server. If you not find it here, search for live server. Click on install button. By this, live server will be installed in our system. Once this is live server is installed, once you right click, you can find open with live server. See, open with live server. By this, your program automatically opens in the live server. Here we are opening our program through live server. See here, I'm able to open my program with a live server. By this, automatically it will open one live server. See, like this. This is the way generally it will open. So Control C, copy. Now check the code here. Here, how the live server is executed. Once you click on install button, it will be installed. It will open our output like this. This way we can execute our code with live server. With the live server, you can execute your code, your program code, you can execute it like this. Okay, here you can run your program, right click, open with live server. By this, you can see that standard code will be here. Right click. I didn't wrote any standard code. I wrote just only welcome. See here, doc type HTML head and body, you can see as our output. This is the way generally we'll execute our program. This is the procedure of execution of the program. Here I'm writing doc type HTML head and body. This is the standard code of HTML. Under this, that welcome message, whatever I'm printing here. Here, whatever welcome message I'm printing here, this welcome message will print as our output. But according to the standard, we have to write our code. That's why we have to write doc type HTML head and followed by body. Under this body, I can write it here, welcome to HTML or something if I write it. See, automatically code will get updated here. See here, doc type HTML head and body, welcome to HTML and injected code of HTML. Here, like this, you will get output for our application. Here, this is the way we'll write the primary code of HTML. Yesterday you have attended demonstration and today you understood here what is the use of each topic, and yesterday also we discussed what is the use of each topic. That brief information we discussed today, and we continued on installation procedure of Visual Studio Code in our system and execution of our programs through Visual Studio Code. After this, generally I'll cover pair tags and unpaired tags under HTML. Yesterday I explained first program on pair tags and unpaired tag. Second program I explained block and inline elements. Block elements and inline elements and pair tags and unpaired tags. These are. Here, now I'm continuing on this. See, let me open my folder of 8:30. Here, 8:30 p.m. folder. Yesterday we discussed here, that is one.html program. In this, I explained here what all the list of pair tags we have. Pair tag here, whenever you write the starting tag, definitely you need to write the closing tag here. It comes under pair tag. Here, this pair tags, here H1 to H6, all comes under pair tags. Heading tag, div tag, all comes under pair tags. HR tag is for horizontal line, all different HR tags you can use. And you input type text button, radio button, like that we can write all input elements. BR tag we use it for break line. Image SRC is used to display images for our program. Here, all different images for our application we can display to the user by image tag. Image 1.jpg, and this is one more image, and this is one more image. See, all different images we are showing here in all different ways. One is directly 1.jpg, direct location image. Next, we are writing here. Here, 1.jpg directly I am writing name of the image. Second, location of that image here, that SRC, my system's local location I am writing. And third one, URL of that image. So any URL of that image, we can write it by this image tag. Here I'm writing image SRC, all three different images we are writing for our program like this. So this way only we can write our program, we can execute our program. Here, this way only we can write our program and we can execute our program like this. Here, how to write that 1.html program, how we can execute it, how to print our output. These all you can check it with our program. Here, we can write 1.jpg and we can write our directly location of the image. Another one here, image SRC is used to display images. That images all are here, that URL path of that image. Three ways. And for every image tag, you can write width, height, and ALT. Width, height, and ALT. ALT here, it is an alternative text. If the image not available, that time it will show you that alternate text. You can see that execution here with a live server. If you execute it, see, output will come like this. Here, H1 to H6, it is showing like this. H1 to H6, horizontal line. That horizontal line we are mentioning with the width and size. Here, one more horizontal line, it is showing here in the green color output like this. And input type text, input type button, input type radio. How to display all input elements. Then BR tag for break line, and image tag is used to display images, and flower image. Here, other location image, current location image, and URL of that image. Those three we discussed under this. Here, all these things we can write like this. Next, here after this images and buttons, radio buttons and all, how to write our program. We are writing here all output for our application will be like this. With that, we can execute this pair and unpair tag like this. After this, we discussed block and inline elements. Under this block and inline elements, we discussed here. See, we discussed block and inline elements here. That block and inline elements are here. Here, whenever you open your, whenever you write any particular tag, that always starts in a new line of the web page. For them, CSS code is display block. Here, H1 to H6, it will show you as heading tags here. This heading tags, H1 to H6 tags, we are using as our heading tags. This heading tag, here H1 tag to H6 tags we have. This heading tags, whatever heading we are writing here, that it will display bigger size to smaller size, all different sizes of headings we can display to the user. Here, when we write the H1 tag, it will display here bigger size heading for us. Whenever we write the H1 tag, it will display here bigger size heading for us. H6 tag, it will show you here smaller size heading. So now run this program with a live server. See, this is block elements and inline elements. Here H1 to H6 and div tag, all are continuing in the new line. Paragraph, all continue starts in a new line. Why? Because CSS code is display block. Next one, here only you can check italic content, strong content, bold content, strike tag. These all starts in a continue in the same line. Here, these all list of tags continue in the same line of the web page. Here, I tag, EM tag, both for italic content. Strong tag, bold tag is used to display bold content for us. And strike tag, del tag is used to display deleted or a strikeout content for our application. U tag is for underline content. Span tag and mark tag we are using here. Span tag and mark tag we are using here. Span here, background highlighting content, mark tag content. Next, here image SRC is used to display images. Username text box, you can display here like this. So this way only we'll write our total code. Here we are writing here all images, inline elements, all will be like this. Next, after this block and inline elements, we discussed marquee tag. Marquee tag mainly we use it for scrolling content. Left to right, right to left, any scrolling content we can show to the user by this marquee. Here, marquee, here left to right, right to left, and up direction, down direction. Here all marquee tag. Direction only for the left and right, we wrote behavior alternate. By this, it in between the screen only, it will scroll the content. Here, next one direction up, it will move the content in towards up direction. Direction down, it will move the content towards down direction. And here scroll amount, here that scroll amount here it is that speed limit of that particular content will be like this. Here next we are going for behavior alternate. It will show you alternate behavior in between the screen. This is all attributes of marquee tag. Just let me show that execution. Here one content is scrolling inside the screen to that outside of my screen. It is going in the first marquee tag, that is the default marquee tag. Next we are going for here scrolling content we are showing here left to right, right to left. This type of in between the screen only it will show that scrolling content. Here that scrolling content it is moving in between the screen. See towards left direction and right direction. See here in between the screen it will show you that output. This is possible by here scrolling content we can show to the user by this. This is one type of marquee tag. It will show you this marquee. Here it will move in between the screen. In between the screen, and once it touches the end point, it will bounce back. So this is one type of effect. Here it is possible by marquee tag. Because of marquee tag, you can show that output like this. Next, one more marquee tag, it is showing that content is scrolling in up direction. One more marquee tag is scrolling in the down direction. Here, because of that scroll amount, that content, how much speed you want it, that you can decide it by scroll amount. This is totally about the marquee. Marquee content we can write like this. One second. Sorry for the disturbance. Here, we are continuing on this next tag here. Up to now, after installation procedure of this Visual Studio Code and all, first program we completely discussed on. Here, first program is on paired tags and unpaired tags. Here, second program we discussed on. Here, second program we discussed on block and inline elements. Here, third program we discussed on marquee tag. Here, marquee tag mainly we use it for scrolling content. Then fourth program we discussed here. Here, marquee tag we used it here for showing that scrolling content. Here, next we are going for here. Then fourth program I'm going for table. How to display table of content, rows and columns information, how to display that you can check it by table tag. Table tag we are using here to display that rows and columns information. Here rows and columns information we can show to the user by this table tag. See, in this table tag you can find it here how to write columns of a table and rows of the table. You will learn it here. Columns of a table and rows of the table. So now check it here, table.html, save table.html. First I'll explain to you in this here table tag. Table will write it here, table start, table close. Under this we can write border of the table here 1 pixel, 2 pixel of border, and body heading of the table is by D head. Here body of the table is by T body. Yeah, heading of the table is by T head, body of the table is by T body. In this T head, whatever heading I'm writing here we are writing here T head and T body. In this T head, heading of the table, we can easily write it by here heading tags. Heading tag I'm using here, T head, we use it here for writing heading of the table. So this heading of the table, we usually write it here in T head. In this, each column of heading, we can write it by TH. TH, we use it here to display each column of heading. Employee number, employee name, employee salary. See, like this, we can write it here. Employee number, employee name, employee salary. Here, this way, if you write it here, this is what here, heading of the table. And body of the table, we can write it here, TR. TR, we use it here, table row. Under this TR, how many rows, TDs you wanted, those many you can write. Here, TD start, TD close. Under this TD start, TD close. Here, we are writing here 3 column of information like this TD. Under this TD, see employee number, employee name. Here, employee salary. Like this, we can write. Here, this way we can write one table tag. See how it will display that output. Here, for this table only, we can write cell spacing. Here, cell to cell, how much gap you want it, that is cell spacing. And similar way, you can write cell padding. Here, column of the cell to, border of the cell to column of the cell, how much gap you want it, that is cell padding. So, we are going to write cell spacing and cell padding table, all we are writing like this. Next, if you want to merge the columns and rows, we will use it here, col span and row span. So let me continue on this table. Here, what all table tag content we have? Let me show that. Here it is one table. Under this table tag, control yes. Here, let me write the table here. It is doc type HTML head and body. Here itself HTML head and followed by body. Under this, I'm writing H1. Here table tag example. Table tag example is the heading here. So now in this time, I'm writing here table tag like this. Here I'm writing table tag like this. See title of this one here, title. Here table tag example is the title. So now if I run this program here, run it with live server, see here, table tag example will print like this. Here, table tag example will print like this. So now in this time, here it is about the table tag. How to display that table we observed. Next I'm writing here one more table. Here H1. It is cell spacing. Here cell spacing. Here cell to cell, how much gap you want it, that is cell spacing. Here cell to cell, how much gap you want it, that we call it as cell spacing. Here cell spacing, here how much gap you want it, one cell to another cell, that is cell spacing. See here, there is a gap between one cell to another cell. This is what cell spacing. Similar way, we can write it here, cell padding. Here itself, H1. Here it is cell padding. Cell padding time, you can check it here. How can we give the gap between content to cell? Here, cell padding, here it is 20 pixels. Suppose if I write it, see here. This is center content. All sides you can see some gap here. This is cell padding. This is center content here. All sides you can see some gap here. This is center content. You can see all sides gap. This is cell padding. Here one cell to another cell, there is a space here, that is cell spacing. Center content of the cell to all sides of the cell, you can see some gap. This is by cell padding. Here table tag example we observed here how to give gap between one cell to another cell, that is cell spacing. And here cell padding, here one cell to another cell, there is a gap here, this is cell padding. Sorry, one center content of the cell to all sides of the cell, there is a gap here, that is cell padding. Next I'm going for here cell spacing, cell padding. Next here we are going for one more H1. Here it is call span. Call span is mainly used to merge the columns. See here itself I'm writing here call span. Suppose if I remove one pair of TD from here, for the above TD only I'll write call span equal to 2. So by this number and name both I can merge it. See here I'm able to merge number and name both the columns. Here first line, first heading it is 3 column, but here in this in the data table data it is 2 column. See first one, second one. See this is because of call span. Here call span. 1 second. Here we are going to write that call span here. We are merging 2 columns of information call span. Next we can write it here. Here itself we can write it here. One more heading H1. This is row span. Row span, see I'm using here row span here. I'm going to merge 2 rows. See here I'll remove. See I have 2. I want to write 2 rows information here. TR start and close. Under this TD, here 1 or 2 TD and name and salary I can write it. Here name and salary I'm writing like this. Now you can see that here table it is displaying like this. Here 3 columns and 3 rows. 2 rows it is displaying like this. 2 rows here other than heading 2 rows. Now if I want to merge 2 rows here, 2 rows if I want to merge here, see I'll remove one pair of TD from here, from the second row. I'll go to the first row. For this only, here for this only I'll write row span equal to 2. Here itself I'm writing row span equal to 2. So by this, I can merge two rows information. Here, for this, I can merge two rows information for my program. Here, yeah. So two rows information, we can merge it here by row span. Here itself, we are writing here col span and row span. Col span is used to merge two columns. Row span is used to merge two rows. Here, how to merge the columns, how to merge the rows, that you can check it in this example. Here, suppose if you don't remove that, here, suppose if you don't remove that, here if you don't remove one pair of TD, how it will display in the table, that you can check it. See, I'll show you that. Here, suppose if I don't remove the one pair of TD, here it is 1 or 2, it is here only. See here, how the table is disturbing. So number is coming to the name. Here, yeah. Here, we are going to write rows and columns. Okay. Here, the rows and columns information we are writing here. In this rows and columns information, here if you don't remove one pair of TD from the second row, that will come here. That name is going to the salary. Salary is going outside of the table. So this way you will get output because of this col span and row span. Here col span is merging two columns. Row span is merging two rows. Here col span and row spans will write like this. So next, here col span and row span for our program, we can write like this. This way only we can execute it. So now I'm going for here col span, row span completed. Here, this is totally about the table. Table for our program, we are writing TRTD and T-head, T-body, how to display all the table and how we can display our output, we understood under this. Here col span, row span, cell spacing, cell padding. If you don't, here, if you want to merge three rows information, you can remove here one more TD, here one more row, you can write it here. So by that, you can merge three rows. See, if you want to merge three rows information here, so for this, we can write it here, row span equal to 3. By this, see here, you can check it here, 3 rows are merged like this. 3 rows are merged like this. This is what here row span. Here col span and row span for our program. This is cell spacing and cell padding for our program. This way only we can execute our program. This is the way we can write our program, we can execute. Is it clear this table tank? All 4 students? Karimulla, Santosh, Sandeep, Visai.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Any doubts, any students? Clear for Wesley? Sandeep, yes. Santosh? He is not in. Karimulla, yes. Okay. Santosh, is it clear for you, table tank? Fine, no problem. So here up to now, we discussed table tank, what all attributes we have under this table, we understood. Next tag here, so 5th one here, UL tag, OL tag. UL tag for unordered list, OL tag is for ordered list. Generally, I'll cover UL, OL and then anchor tag with the href, anchor tag with the different target attributes and the frame set. Here frame set tag, how to use it. Within that frame tag, how to use it, we'll learn. Then meta tag, name and content and all. Here 8th one input element, input type text, button, radio button, all. Next, after this, ninth one here, it is form tag method equal to either get or post and action page. Here, these all contents, these all tags we are going to learn under HTML4. Under HTML4, I'm going to explain these all programs. Next, after completion of these all, I'll move on to the CSS2 topic. CSS2, in that what all properties we have and how to apply that all properties to our application, how to execute all those things we'll learn. And tomorrow onwards, regularly my class starts at 8:30 only. This link name, I'll rename that name of this link. Okay, I'll inform to organizer to change the link. Link will be same, but class timing will be 8:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. I'll continue everyday session. Here today, Wednesday, we continued on table tag. I'll continue list elements, UL and OL. These recordings, I'll upload it in your drive. I didn't got yesterday recording from organizer. So yesterday recording and today's recording, both I'll upload it in your drive. See, I think now I got 2 recordings. See, I'll download this recordings. I'll upload it in your drive. So by this, you can get my here. Okay. Here, you will get my files, recording files. So by that, you can check my everyday class recordings. Everyday class recordings, you can check it here. With that, you can download that file and you can, sorry, not download, you can check that. You can listen that recordings every day. So everyday class, I'm uploading in one 8:30 p.m. drive. So 8:30 p.m. one drive I already created for your batch. In that drive only, I'm uploading everyday files. So you can check that drive for my class files. Okay, you can check that drive for my class related files. See, I'll show you my 8:30 p.m. folder. This is 6 a.m. This is 8:30 p.m. Here, up to 12th December, I uploaded every 12th December. Did I take in any class? 12th December, I didn't take in any class. 11th. 12th, I already traveled. Thursday night, I traveled to some other place. 11th, I continued. Okay, maybe this 12th is wrong. So up to 11th December, I continued your class. 9th December, 5th December, all I continued your class. After this, yesterday onwards, here, yesterday 17th onwards, I'm continuing your class. 17th recording, after 11th recording, 17th and 18th recordings, I'll upload it in your drive. Okay, so up to 11th record, 11th 9 p.m. 11th 9 p.m. only. That week I continued at 9 p.m. This week onwards will continue. Tomorrow onwards, 19th onwards, every day class starts at 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. for the next few days. After that, I'll change your class. I'll increase your class timing to 1 hour 15 minutes. So every day it will be till end of the course. I'll continue same time 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Up to 9:45, I'll extend. Yeah, depends on that topic. So once I start JavaScript topic, I want to explain for the 1 hour 15 minutes. So in future, I'll increase your class timing, but class timing every day will be 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. tomorrow onwards. And mostly link will be same link or different link that I'll contact organizer. They'll share that link with you. Okay, everyday class recordings, other than demo recordings, remaining all recordings I uploaded in this drive. Here in this drive, other than demo recording, every file I uploaded in this. And today onwards, we'll continue all session numbers and all session recordings. You can check it through my drive. So by that, whenever you miss any class or if you're not able to implement any program, you can open that sequence number, session number wise. You can open my file and you can listen my recording and you can do your program. Now, I'm continuing on this 5th one UL time. Tomorrow, Thursday, I'll continue on anchor tag and frame set meta tag. Friday, I'll continue on input elements and form tag. Saturday, I'll upload one question paper under HTML4. And Saturday, I'll continue on the here CSS2 introduction part. And revision of HTML4 and CSS2 introduction part, I'll continue. Saturdays, generally, I'll conduct test and I'll take project session. In that project session, how to develop our application, that you will understand under that project session. Here, now, I'm continuing on this UL. Here, this UL tag, UL is mainly for unordered list. UL and OL tag, we use it for ordered and unordered list. Here, UL. Under this UL, you can find it here, that list elements, how to write it. How many list elements we wanted, those many list elements we can show for our program. Item 1, item 2, item 3, all the list of elements we will write like this. Here, all list elements for my program will write like this. Yeah. Here, this elements, whatever I'm writing here, this is unordered list. This one, it is unordered list. Next, similar way, we can write it here, ordered list. Ordered list we can write, unordered list you can write. Here, this is OL tag. OL tag. Under this, how many list elements we wanted, those many list elements we can show. Here only you can find item 1, item 2, item 3. How many list elements we wanted, those many list elements we can show for our program. This is what here, ordered list. Ordered list will write like this. See, let me write the program on this ordered list, unordered list, and what all types are allowed and all I'll explain to you. And tomorrow onwards, directly 8:30. Today I started at 8 p.m. and I revised a session for one student, and the installation procedure and all I explained for one student. So I'll end our class after this UL/OL tag. And tomorrow 8:30 only I'll directly start my session. I'll continue up to 9:30. Tomorrow onwards, every day till end of the course, 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. only. We'll continue everyday class on the continuation of tags. By Saturday, we'll complete HTML4. So next week, complete week, we will spend on CSS2 topic. Here, then last week of December, we'll continue on the JavaScript topic. Here, this weekend, I'll take project session. And these days will continue on the these days will continue on the remaining content. Remaining content here, JavaScript. So 30th December onwards, every day will continue on the JavaScript topic. Okay, so this is my plan. Okay, so now let me save here HTML ordered, unordered list. Here ordered list, unordered list, list.html. So now list.html, doc type HTML, head and body. Here head and body tag. Under this head, I'm writing here title. Title here. Here title of the application. Here it is list tag example is the title. Here body tag h1. Here it is unordered list. Unordered list. Under this, I'm writing UL. Here, under this UL, I'm writing LI. Here only, all items we can write it. Item 1, 2, 3, we are writing like this. Here, now, similar way, I'll write H1, ordered list, ordered list. For this, you can write OL. For this, you can write all your list elements here. Item 1, 2, 3 list elements, you can write like this. Here 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. Now, if I run this program here, See, you can see that execution will be like this. Here, this is ordered list. This is unordered list, ordered list. By default, unordered list will show you with the list elements. Here, all list element style type here it is disk. Here, for this ordered list, all list elements will show you with 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, it will show you for ordered list. For this, it is here disk. By default, it is list style type is disk. Here, for this, by default, it is 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, if I mention here, see that ordered list I'm writing here. That ordered list, whatever I'm writing here, that if you want, you can change the type here. Type equal to disk, circle, circle, disk, square, allowed for unordered list. Here it is type equal to circle, type equal to square. Here type equal to circle, disk, square. Here disk. See here, by default it is disk. If you mention disk, even though it is disk. Other than this, see here circle, square. Circle, disk, square. So this is disk, this is circle, this is square. Check it clearly. This is disk. By default, UL tag with a disk. Here it is circle. This is square. This is disk. This way it will show that output. Next, you can see that ordered list also same. That ordered list, you can write it here. Here itself, I'm writing ordered list. That is OL tag. Here under this, see item 1, 2, 3 we are placing here. Here, here item 1, 2, 3 I'm writing. Here list elements are here 22, 23, 24 something if I write. Here by default it is with 1, 2, 3. If you mention type equal to, here type equal to capital ABCs. Here only you can write OL tag, type equal to small ABCs. Here per element, here 1, 2, 3s you can write. Here itself you can write that OL tag. Here OL tag I'm writing here. This OL tag only we can write it here. Type equal to capital ABCs, small ABCs, and then type equal to here smaller Roman letters and capital Roman letters. These are allowed types for the OL tag. Here capital Roman letters. So now if you check it here, run this program here, run it with live server. See, you can check it here. This ordered list, how it is displaying. Ordered list by default, it is 1, 2, 3. If you mention here capital ABCs, smaller Roman numbers, capital Roman numbers. These all allowed for our ordered list. For our ordered list, it is allowed like this. Here for this ordered list, it is allowed like this. See here, that is 1, 2, 3, capital ABCs, smaller Roman numbers, capital Roman numbers. These are allowed for ordered list. Here, unordered list, it is allowed here. By default, it is disk. If you write it here, circle, see it is circle, square. Like this we can write. Here, next we are writing here that ordered list only. Here, ordered list or unordered list. If you write it here, nested list element. Under one list element, you can write one more UL. Under this, you can write it here like this. See, this is main list element followed by sublist. By default, main list element with a disk, sublist elements with a circle. Suppose if you want to write one more sublist element for this, again under ULI, I'm writing one more one. See, I'm writing here 22, 33, 44, something I'm writing here. See here. By default, outer list elements with a disk, inner list elements with a circle, inner list elements with a square. Here, by default, outer list elements with a disk, here inner list elements with a circle, nested list elements with a square. So this type of output we can show for our program. This is what here unordered list. Unordered list for our application we can write like this. unordered list for our program, we can write like this. Ordered list and unordered list for my program, we can write like this. Here, this way only we can write our program. Ordered list or unordered list for my program, we can write like this. Here, this way we can write it. Next one, here only we are writing here sublist elements for OL tank. Here, this is main list element with the 1, 2, 3. Sublist element, even if you write it, see OL tag, if I write it under this list element, if I write it, all list elements will show you here with 1, 2, 3 only. See, main list element 1, 2, 3, sublist elements also 1, 2, 3. This main list element and sublist element, where you can use it. Suppose if you open any university or a college site, here that menu bar, generally UL tag, we use it here, main list element and sublist element, sublist element. This is main menu, sub menu, and inside that one more sub menu. See, this type of output is because of here UL tag. Because of UL tag only, we are going to show our output like this. Now right click inspect element on this. You can check your execution here like this. Here this is UL, this is main list element, followed by sublist element, followed by sublist element. So this type of output we can show for our program. This is possible by UL and OL. Here UL tag I'm using here. UL tag, this is main list element followed by sublist element. How to display our output, that you can check it. UL, right click, delete element. So because if I delete that UL tag, output will be here. You cannot see any menu bar. So anywhere menu bar, main menu, sub menu, sub menus, all menu bars we can create it by UL tag. Okay. Today new content here, table tag and UL tag. Table tag and UL OL tag. This is ordered unordered list and table tag. These two we discussed in today's session. Tomorrow, Thursday, I'll continue on the anchor tag and the frame set and meta tag example. After that, Friday, I'll continue on input element and the form tag. Saturday, I'll revise the session and I'll continue on the CSS 2 topic on Saturday. Okay, this is my plan. So accordingly, we'll work out all our syllabus. Okay, that's it for today. We'll meet tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. regular 8:30 p.m. All students join at 8:30 p.m. for the continuation of session. Up to now, any doubts? Yes, please. Up to now, any doubts? Yes, all of you. Up to now, any doubts?
No.
We'll meet tomorrow for the continuation of syllabus. Thank you. We continue. We are learning here. This is the first session on this, demo session on this web UI programming. Is it your first demo?
Yes.
Okay. Here, this is web UI. UI here, it is a user interface. To create this user interactive page, we have to learn that list of all topics are here. HTML 4 and 5, CSS 2 and 3, third topic JavaScript, fourth one jQuery, here fifth Ajax, sixth responsive design, here responsive design, then seventh one will be here Bootstrap, here eighth one will be here less and SAS programming, ninth one is project,
10th one is exam. Total duration of my content will be here 2 months. 2 months I'm going to continue on all these topics. Okay. Here first I'll explain in today's session what is UI. Title. What is UI? What all topics comes under this? And UI related basic introduction part I'll cover here in this session. Here, what is UI? What all topics comes under this? And UI related basic introduction I'll explain to you. Here, UI means here it is a user interface. Here itself it is a user interface. When you enter any URL in the browser, whatever application you can create, whatever application you can see, that is what our UI. Here, Google is one UI page. Google is one UI page here. See, Google. Once you click search option here, data will go for here. Data will go for search. Here, once you click on the search option, data will go for, so your input will be redirected to server. Here, input is redirected to server. Here, server, that server page here any of the server page. Here, it can connect with any of the server here. It may be Java server, .NET server, Python server, any server programming we can use. This server will give you result back to the result. It will give you that request to server and database. Here, this is totally MVC architecture. Here it is our server program. Server is here. It may be PHP, Java, .NET, Python. Here, etc. All comes under server programs. Here, this server programs are here. Here, different servers. Here, databases. Databases are here, Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server. Here itself, SQL Server, MongoDB, etc. All comes under servers, databases. Here is our UI program. UI program here. Here, UI programming. Resultant page is also a UI. Here, link 1, link 2, link 3, you will get it as our link here. This list of links, whatever you get it here. One second. Here, the list of links, whatever you are getting here, these all we will get it by server to database. This is what here MVC architecture. Finally, you will get resultant page here. So this is what MVC architecture. This MVC architecture followed by every web page. If you check facebook.com, twitter.com, any web page, see here, this is one. Here, this is one UI page. UI will connect to server connected to database. Here, this is our UI page. See here, after submitting my request, it will redirect to PHP. So this is our UI page. It is connecting the PHP page. In this, we are learning only the UI part, front end part. This front end is connecting with one server programming and one database. So who know these three? They called as server side, full stack developers. Who know these all technologies? They called as full stack developers. Next. Here, next, I'm going for here in this explain here what is UI. Here, your Facebook is example for PHP connecting to database. Next, after this, here, after this, you can see that here, that UI page, how to develop this UI page here. This UI page, we can develop it by here by this list of all topics. Here, what is the use of HTML? You can see here. HTML is a hypertext markup language. Here itself HTML. HTML, here it is a hypertext markup language. Here markup language. Markup here it is a tag based programming. Here tag based programming. Tag here it is instruction to the browser. Here tag is nothing but it's an instruction to the browser. Instruction to browser. We can give our instructions to the browser in the form of tags. Here we can write it here tag name start and close. With this we can execute our program. Here we are writing here this type of tags are instructions. Here this comes under pair tags. Pair tags. Second category of tags we have that is comes under unpaired tags. If you are learning any programming language, that programming instructions we have to follow. Here, in this, here unpaired tag will be like this. Pair tags and unpaired tags will write like this. Here, this pair tag, here, whatever pair tag I'm writing here, that pair tag, so here we'll write separately closing tag. Unpaired tag, we will write like this, self-closing tag. Here, totally HTML is a hypertext markup language. It is tag-based programming. Tags are nothing but instruction to the browser. We can give our instructions to the browser in the form of tags. These tags are here, pair tags and unpaired tags. Here, next, any HTML page, we will follow that basic structure of HTML will be here. It is doc type, HTML, HTML start and close. Here, this is the basic structure. And body. Okay, and body. This is the basic structure of HTML. HTML is a hypertext markup language. It is completely a tag-based programming. Here, tag is nothing but it's an instruction to the browser. We can give our instructions to the browser in the form of tags. That standard code of HTML will be like this. Suppose if you check this facebook.com, if you right click inspect element on this, you can see that standard code is here. Here standard code is here, doc type HTML head and body. Okay. So our first topic of our content here, HTML, it creates basic skeleton structure of a web page. Here, because of this HTML, we can create a basic skeleton part of the web page. Here, HTML is a hypertext markup language. Basic structure of web page. Here, basics. Here, structure of web page. We can create it using HTML. Using HTML, we can create a basic structure of a web page. Second topic here, CSS. CSS, here it is cascading style sheet. Here, this is mainly used for style part of web page. Style part of web page, we can create it with the CSS. Style part here, you can check it here. Background color, border, text related styles, font related styles, all we can create it with the CSS. Here, CSS gives you basic structure, colorful structure and alignment of the web page. Next one. Here, JavaScript. Because of this JavaScript, we can add functionality. Functionality of web page, we can create it. We can create it using JavaScript. Because of this JavaScript, we can add functionality to our application. These functionalities are here. Here, these functionalities are here. Functionality of a web page, we can create it with this JavaScript. Functionalities are here. Validations. See, in this Facebook, that color of the button, you can change it by CSS. Just I'm giving brief information, one line information about all the topics. Here, this button color, if you want to change it here, that it is possible by CSS. See, this half code is CSS. If you want to change the color of the button, you can change like this. See, button color is affected. Okay, this half code is CSS, this half code is HTML. Next, here JavaScript, submit. If I submit it, I'll get error message here. See, I'm getting error message here. This error message is because of JavaScript. Here, because of JavaScript, we can add validation of the application form. Validations, cookie creations, local storages, session storages, animations, object-oriented structure, all we will learn it with this JavaScript. Here, next topic of our content here. Here, next topic of our course is here, jQuery. jQuery is a external library of JavaScript. It's a external library of JavaScript. We call it as jQuery. jQuery is nothing but it's an external library, already existed code of the JavaScript here. So directly you can download that basic file of jQuery here, jQuery 3.7.1.js. Like this, you can find jQuery cycle.js. Like this, you can find it here, jQuery validation.js. Here, etc., all comes under jQuery. Because of jQuery, you can create this type of output. Here, now you can find it here, jQuery validations. In this jQuery validation.org, you can find it here. In this jQuery, you can find it here how to implement validations of the application form. jQuery related stuff, you can create it with this. Here, jQuery is a validations here. In this validation of the application form, how to create our application, how to write our content. Here, validations of the application form, you can write it here. Here, you can write that validation of the application form with this jQuery. See here, jQuery cycle. So when you search for jQuery cycle, you can find it here, cyclic rotation of images. See here, when I add jQuery cycle, see, you can see different cyclic rotation of images. This cyclic rotation of images we are creating with this jQuery. Here, jQuery is adding validation of the application form. Here, all validations, we can write it, and all cyclic rotation of images, we can write it with this jQuery. Next one, Ajax. Ajax, here it is a asynchronous JavaScript and XML. It is a combination of JavaScript and XML. It is asynchronous. Asynchronous JavaScript and XML, we call it as Ajax. Here, Ajax is mainly, it is an asynchronous JavaScript and XML. We call it as Ajax. In this Ajax, you can find it without redirection. Here, without redirection, without refreshing. Without redirection or without refreshing web page, if we get the client is getting the server response. Here, client will get the response of the server without refreshing, without redirection. If we get the server response, that we call it as Ajax. For this example here, if you open any website here, chatting applications. Any chatting application comes under here. Any type of chatting application comes under this type of Ajax call. Here, I'm showing here chatting application here. In this chatting application, see here. Here, if I click on this, ask you, see, within few seconds, I'll get output without redirection, without refreshing. See, if I click on one option, I'll get that option related stuff. Here, similar way, if I click on this loans, I'm getting that list of loans. I'm getting here agriculture loans. I'm getting here long-term credits. Here, like this, you will get all your output. This is possible by here bank. See here. You are getting this type of output here, short-term credits and all. You are getting output here without refreshing, without redirection. This comes under Ajax. Here, but menu bar is not a Ajax. See, if you check any menu from this menu bar, if I want to know about the something from this menu bar, see it is redirecting. My application is redirecting and getting the output. One second.